Something's different.
I am changing.
I don't know if I like who I'm becoming.
Boyd, there are a lot of people wanting to know what happened down there.
Mom, where's Dad? Why isn't he back yet?
Tabitha.
We need to talk.
It means everything they show us is real. I think they're doing it to make us afraid.
Well, then it worked. There is something ancient here. And it's feeding off our suffering, and it doesn't stop.
We're losing. We're running out of time, and we still don't know the goddamn rules. There is no way to fight back against those things. Everything we've done, every sacrifice we've made, none of us are going anywhere.
You think you're some kind of hero? You're a monster.
Lord, please protect us in this dark place where evil roams so freely. This we ask in your name. Amen.
One way or another, the truth always comes out.
I would make sure it doesn't.
Some people still driving around, huh?
It's the worst part. And you still expect to find the road that takes you home. It's the part that's cruel.
Maybe we missed the sign for the highway.
We didn't miss the sign.
Where are we? So you're telling me I'm in a mystical town. I can't leave.
These woods are not safe after dark.
I can still hear those things whispering. We are stuck.
I'm gonna find us a way out of this place.
Everyone in this town has been exactly where you are right now. There are things you need to know about where you are. This is gonna be the worst night of your life. Do you believe in monsters?
Do you believe in monsters? Welcome one, welcome all to another edition of the Fromville Hour, ladies and gents. PM will be with us in a little while, and tonight we are going to be diving into quite possibly, potentially, the greatest episode that From has ever produced. And throughout the night, I want to hear from you guys in the chat. What is your favorite overall episode? Out of all of the seasons, out of every episode of From that we have gotten, which one stands up tiptoe above beyond all of the others for you guys? Do you have one episode in particular that is just hands down your favorite whenever you think about From? What is the first episode that you guys think of? For me, this episode that we're going to be discussing tonight, our recent watch party topic, definitely is probably one of, if not the first episodes that comes to mind when I think about From. It's either this episode or the pilot, the very, very, very first episode. The pilot is just so memorable. I think a lot of people probably think of the pilot when they think about From instantly, but I also think about this episode just as quick. These are the two most iconic episodes in the entire series, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think. What is your favorite episode overall? And is it the Colony House Massacre episode? And for me, what makes this episode great isn't even the Colony House Massacre. It's everything else that we get in the episode. I mean, the Colony House Massacre is great too. Don't get me wrong. It's one of the coolest action sets pieces that's in the entire show. But it's not what makes the episode so great, at least for me anyway. It's everything else that makes this episode so freaking great. The build-up, the setup, the character development, the reveals we get in this episode, and everything in between. It's man, this is one of the better ones. One of the best ones, I would say, even. One of the best. Yeah, Jasmine, where did all these Colony House monsters go anyway? Yeah, that's a big question that many have had ever since season 1. Where are all these other Colony House monsters that we have not seen since this episode? There's like 3 or 4 monsters in this episode alone that we never see ever again, Jasmine being one of them. And again, it's most likely just because the actors just weren't available, unfortunately, anymore. These are extras at the end of the day. These are background actors. Even with Jasmine having a few lines, she's still technically a background actor and an extra. And sometimes extras are just not easy to get back time in and time out every single year. Because actors like that, they're so reliant on just finding the next possible job that they can. They can't wait around for a job to come back around a year later. They just have to take whatever they can get. And then when From does come back around, if they're busy with other stuff, they just can't come back. It's mostly that simple. But that is probably why we haven't seen Jasmine and any of the others, these other monsters that we see tonight. But Jasmine definitely left an impression on the fandom. That is for sure. Just a few scenes, and Jasmine has been one of, if not the most memorable monster. That probably goes to Smiley or Granny. But Jasmine's up there. I would definitely put Jasmine in like the top 3 most memorable monsters of the entire show. And with very little screen time. Very little screen time indeed. Oh, sweet Jasmine, you used poor Kevin, who just wanted that beautiful booty. Oof, poor Kevin. Poor Kev. Man, 70s porn stash Kev, as I like to call him. Poor 70s porn stash Kev. He had no hope, did he? He had no chance, didn't he? Poor guy. Didn't know what he was getting into. But welcome everybody. Let's see what we got here. We got Diana in the house. What is up, Anna? Welcome. I see Pam Jam is here. Welcome, Pam Jam. I see Chiquita Cyborg is in the house as well. Welcome. Welcome everybody. We see Catherine is in the house. What's up? Bushka Blue in the building. Love that name. Bushka Blue. We got April Mayers in the house. What is up, April? We got Laura here. I see Sunflowers here. I see all the Fromily members are here. Good to see each and every one of you. Welcome. All right. Now, again, we've been doing these rewatches and these rewatch discussions pretty much from the beginning of season 1. And here we are at probably the most anticipated episode of season 1, or at least for probably some of us at least. The Colony House Massacre. Yeah, this one definitely delivers, doesn't it? I mean, it really delivers. And I can totally understand why this would be in plenty of people's favorite episodes, for sure. And the pilot, though, the pilot is just phenomenal as well. The pilot and Colony House are definitely my 2 favorite episodes, hands down, bar none. It's those 2, and every other episode is vying for second and third, because they're just so good. These are the closest that From comes to being just absolutely perfect, in my opinion anyway. I know everybody has their different criteria for what they give, a 9 episode, a 9.5 episode, a 10 out of 10 episode. Everybody's different. But for me, for what I look for in good television and in good storytelling, episode 1 and episode 7 of season 1 are the 2 episodes that come the closest to being just absolutely perfect, just for me. Phenomenal television, these 2 episodes. Season 3, episode 4, When Tabitha Comes Back, Nicole Lane. Ooh. Now, that's not only When Tabitha Comes Back, that's actually a really good episode, Nicole Lane, because that's also the episode where Boyd has to leave Randall in the middle of the road, and we see him splayed out on the ambulance later on at the very end of the episode. So yeah, season 3, episode 4 is a really good one. Like you said, Tabitha coming back, poor Randall getting left behind. That's a good one. That's actually a really, really fun episode. Man, poor Randall. Poor Randall getting left behind. You feel so bad for Randall in that scene, just getting left there. But, Boyd kind of did what he had to do. And I can't really begrudge Boyd. It was save one life or save many lives. And welcome, PM. Thank you for joining us. And perfect, because we are actually talking in the chat, and I definitely want to get your opinion as well. Colony House Massacre episode is up among my favorite episodes of From. I have, for me, it's probably episode 1, the pilot, and this episode are my 2 hands down favorite episodes. And I asked the chat the same thing. What are your favorite episodes of the entire series? Not just season 1, but the entire series. What is your favorite overall episode? And Nicole Lane just brought up season 3, episode 4, which has a scene that I know you and I loved in particular in it as well. Not only is season 3, episode 4 the one that Tabitha comes back, but it's also the episode where Boyd has to leave Randall behind in the middle of the road. And I know that just for you and I, that's one of our favorite scenes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that is that it's my favorite because to me, it's hilarious.
It's so
You know,
funny.
from they're never intentionally funny, but they are funny. And what's hilarious is that Boyd has this like no man left behind sort of attitude. He even says
Yeah.
it to Martin. He drags Martin to the point where Martin ends up, getting close enough to give him the worms. So he has this whole like attitude about his code of conduct. And Randall is being so helpful. He really is.
He was.
He is, putting himself out there, being very helpful. And what happens? He ends up getting burned because he gets left behind. And the thing about it is that when Randall is knocking or he's gonna be brought in, you see Boyd, he almost doesn't want them to bring him in. He's looking out the window and he's almost like, oh, don't bring him in, right? And once he wakes up, he's like, fucking Boyd, you piece of shit, you left me out there. And Boyd is just like, shh, be quiet. Shut your mouth. Go into the light. Go into the light.
Boyd totally tries to shush him. He really does. Just shh, shh, shh. Oh my
just
fucking
close
god!
Your eyes, go into the light. Let go. We don't need you. You're at peace now. But it's so funny. And you know what? I give Randall all the props because that doesn't stop him from continuing to help.
Yes.
We all thought he was gonna turn dark after that, and he didn't. He proved us wrong. So
he did. He did indeed. And again, you did. I did feel bad for him in that scene because you were right. He was being very helpful. Like he completely risked his life to not only save Sarah and Julie and Ethan, who were just out in the middle of the road earlier because Ethan just opens the door for Granny in that one episode. But he's also helping save everybody again by risking his life trying to get these animals back in. Or trying to get, Tabitha unlocked from the ambulance because she's cuffed in the ambulance at the time. And what's he get for it? What's he get for his helpfulness? He gets
nothing. He gets left behind.
he gets left behind.
You looking for these?
Motherfucker!
Take them. We get to keep Randall, though. You can't save them all.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Motherfuckers! Fuck you! Boy! Boy, did you leave me a piece of shit?
Oh man. Boy, don't you leave me a piece of shit. Poor Randall.
I love that when they return him, they put the lights on in the ambulance. He's all lit up like a Christmas tree.
Like a tree.
He's all lit up like a Christmas tree. They're flashy. I'll tell you that much. The monsters have a flair for
the dramatic. Yep. Totally do. I mean, they wanted him to get found sprawled out like that, lights buzzing and everything. I'm surprised they didn't turn on the fucking alarm, to be honest. They're super extra, these monsters, aren't they?
Sure are. Always have been and always will be.
Always. But no, that's actually a really good pick, Nicole Lane, in terms of a favorite episode. 3, episode 4, definitely a good one. And let us know again in the chat, what is your favorite episode of From overall out of all of the seasons? Which one do you like the best? Yeah, Colony House Massacre, always iconic. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jade's LSD trip is my favorite, but episode 7 was a bomb as well. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, Jade's LSD trip was definitely the best episode of season 4. At least for me, it was my favorite one of season 4. And it was fun. I mean, it was it was one of those kind of quintessential good episodes of From, where we see just Jade kind of finally getting answers for a change. And it felt a little weird at first because I'm just so used to always watching Jade chase something and never quite get it. But in this episode, it finally felt like he had finally caught up to what he was chasing a little bit. And it was just a different dynamic for Jade, and it gave a different feel to the episode for a little bit, having this boy in blue, like, actually giving Jade real freaking answers. So no, it was a good one. We got good reveals. It was a fun episode. It had some good jump scares, some good unintentional comedy, which we love. Definitely the best episode of season 4 for me was Jade's LSD trip. I believe that was episode 5.
Yeah, if it had to be one episode, obviously the first episode, season 1,
Okay.
episode 1,
Yep.
everybody chooses that.
Yep.
But I would say that Jade's trip into his subconscious
Yeah.
would definitely be my second favorite, because I
Nice.
have pieces here and there of Boyd. My favorite scenes are the ones of Boyd in the church, where he
Yeah.
is confronting what it is to be alive and at the mercy of either a god or somebody that's not there at all, right? So
Mhm.
I really like that theme. But if it's an episode, it has to be Jade's dive into his subconscious mind,
Mm. Yeah.
because you could look at it from different points of view. I know that he's like on mushrooms, but also the entire time that he's on mushrooms, it is his inner child that is telling him or warning him, I have the answers, but you might not want to get too close.
Yeah.
We're going to have to go to places that are very painful.
Yes.
Are you sure you want to do this? And he's brave enough to do that. And a lot of therapy and mental health is exactly that. It is, if you want to fix it, you have to look at the ugliest things about your past or your life or, yourself, so that you can make that breakthrough. And thankfully, he was, strong enough to do that. Something that Tabitha has not been strong enough to do.
True, very true. Yeah, and again, we see these really good leaps with Jade's character, where he does have this really good character development, and all of a sudden, where you do see him evolving. And that was one thing heading into season 4 that I really wanted to see was, Jade had been getting these visions for a long time, but it seemed like he was always afraid of them, way too afraid of them to actually stop and think critically as to what they were actually trying to tell them. And in this episode, it feels like he conquered that fear a little bit. He wasn't afraid of these visions for the first time. He actually met them head on, grabbed that freaking skull, drank from it, and faced his fears. And got rewarded because of it, in a sense. I feel like, in a way, that was Jade's threshold episode. Julie had a threshold episode in season 3 with her beginning the story walking. I feel like this was a similar episode for Jade, where this was kind of his threshold. And I think choosing to have the courage to drink from that skull was him passing that test, I think. And I think that's why he was rewarded with that little bit of information he got at the end of the episode, in terms of learning all of the fates of all of the other Jades, and learning that all of these people that he has been seeing were previous Jades. So it was one of those really good episodes that kind of followed the hero's journey, some of the 12 steps in the hero's journey incredibly closely, for Jade to kind of have this trial, have this threshold, and pass it, and then ultimately get this reward. It was just a great episode of From, hands down the best episode of season 4.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think more than the hero's journey, I like to think about the storyline that we have now as
Yeah.
a tale of redemption. That's really what it is at the end of the day. These people did something horrifying, and this is a tale of them trying to redeem themselves.
Him
And
redeeming all the
it's
past ones. Mm-hmm.
exactly, it's over lifetimes.
Yeah.
They couldn't even do it in one lifetime. It's over a period of hundreds of years, lifetimes, over
Yeah.
and over, making that attempt of redeeming this
Yeah.
one horrible deed, this
And that's
one
why
horrible sin that they have
mm,
committed against their children.
and that's why I love the setup in that episode, the reveal for the setup for the reveal in that episode at the end when Jade finally realizes that these are all his previous versions of himself, and he realizes how they all died. It's almost like they all kind of just stop and look right at him, almost like they're kind of looking at you, like all of these previous Jades are looking to this current Jade to do what they couldn't do. It's like, we need you to do what we failed to do, almost like they're looking up to him, that this is the one that can finally do it. It was a kind of a moment of triumph for Jade. Like, conquering his fear like that, I think, was a huge moment for his character, because he had just been so afraid of all of this stuff up until then. It was just such a good episode, and maybe I'm biased because I love Jade, but definitely one of the best episodes of From ever. I'd put that in my top 3, if not top 5, definitely.
Yeah. This is how I read it, right? It's interesting because different people see different things in it. For me, I saw it as devastation for Jade. Like, this was him finally discovering in a devastating way that the person to blame is him. He has been trying to solve this puzzle. He believes that this is an escape room. And this is him discovering it is escape room of his own creation. He's to blame.
Literally, yeah.
Not only is he to blame in his inner conscious, but the townspeople kill him every single time because, yes, it is his fault. And so I think it must be very humbling for him, because he walked in thinking, we are victims of someone. Someone has done this. He first thought it was Toby, that it was a joke. And then he became angry. He started drinking. He hated this place. And now he has to face the fact that this is a prison of his own making, that it is him who committed this atrocity that brought everybody, not just him, but brought every single other person into From, because the children wouldn't be there to call out for anybody had he not done this along with Tabitha. So
Yeah.
I mean, it must be, it's almost like what is that movie with Leonardo, the Shutter Island? Is it Shutter Island?
Shutter Island, yeah.
Leonardo
Yep.
DiCaprio, yes, where
Mhm.
he is on this journey, right? He's the investigator on this journey, and this is Jade's storyline. Like, I'm investigating, I'm gonna get through this, I'm gonna be the one to figure it out. And through the investigation, he finds out that the clues all lead back to him, which
Yeah.
must be like a shocker.
Mm. Yeah, no, and that's such a good movie too. That's one of his better movies, I think. And such a good reveal in the end when you get this, because you're so convinced that he is, what the movie kind of builds him up to be, this heroic kind of U.S. Marshal on this incredibly psychological kind of inner journey. And you get the feeling when you're watching it, that there's some big reveal that is coming, and it's going to have something profound to do with him, something in his past. But I never in a million years expected that, reveal when we get it. And I think that's what made it so brilliant. Yeah, he's on this trail, ultimately just leading right to himself and to who Cletus really was, or Andrew Letus really was. Good, one of his better movies. So no, I think that's a kind of interesting how Jade is kind of in a similar situation where he's going on this similar journey, just as trippy, if not even fucking trippier, only to learn that he might have played a massive part in starting all of this. He did play a massive part in starting all of this, and like we've talked about in the past, maybe even to a darker degree than we've even gotten revealed yet up until this point. But yeah, I think it's definitely some parallels there in terms of that inner journey of self-discovery, of finding out who you really are and what you've really done. And Jade has to face that in this episode. And again, I think he finally does. He faces it in this episode for the first time. And I think that's why he's rewarded with that information at the end, because he was willing to kind of face it. Just a great episode all around.
Yeah,
Indeed.
that was a good one. But the one that we're
Yeah.
talking about today is equally as awesome. Colony House Massacre was, I
Equally.
mean, it lived in infamy.
Yeah.
Before we had season 4, everybody loved Colony House Massacre. because we have a lot
Wow.
going on. We have multiple storylines, multiple characters going through a lot of information. It is where we get a lot of information in season one. So this was also, I would think, like the best episode um in that season.
Mm. Yeah, for me, these are it's kind of tied for me for best episode of the entire series between this and the pilot. But probably my second favorite episode of all time being season 3, episode 1, Tien Chen's death. That episode is just so fucking good. This one is super iconic. Again, I have to imagine it's probably one of the first episodes that many From fans think of when they think about From, because of everything that it really. This was the first big holy shit episode of the entire series. I mean, I know the pilot kind of starts off with some good holy shit moments, but this is like the really first big holy shit episode in terms of, everything that happens and culminating in this big attack on Colony House. But again, it's not just the attack that makes this episode so good. Yes, the Colony House massacre in and of itself is super fun. Again, it's that first kind of really big moment we get, but it's everything else that we get in, surrounding it, leading up to it, that makes this episode one of the best ones in terms of some of the reveals, some of the character developments, and some of the character endings in terms of Cautry as well, not just the people that get killed at the Colony House, but Cautry in particular. And what his death kind of meant for the show at this point in time. So yeah, this one is just incredibly iconic. Floating Heart for 10 jewels from Chiquita Cyborg. Thank you so much, Chiquita Cyborg, for the 10 jewels and the Floating Heart. Very, very much appreciate that. Thank you. This was when Smiley really stood out. Yeah, Smiley really stands out in quite a few scenes in this episode. And there's one scene in particular where he's, it's like superhuman. I mean, these monsters are superhuman, but, we see him kind of upstairs at Colony House, and he's walking towards Ellis. Ellis kind of jumps out the window, jumps off the roof, and then as soon as Ellis lands on the roof, all of a sudden you see Smiley just coming around the corner on the fucking ground outside. He doesn't leave the window or anything. It's almost like he kind of just got down the fucking stairs super quick and was already meeting Ellis outside. Smiley is every fucking where in this episode. That was one thing I noticed on my most recent watch. We see so much Smiley, and not just always in the foreground. You kind of have to look around in the background for him, but there is a ton of Smiley in this episode. Probably more screen time for him in this episode than maybe any other episode he's in, probably. So yeah, he definitely stands out in this one.
What I liked about Smiley in this episode is that I have always believed that part of the curse of the parents is that you have to live in a monstrous way with this smile plastered on your face, because this is how you handed me your children. You were happy to do this. So you don't get a choice of being sad, upset, of, you have to be with this smile. Even if you don't feel like smiling, you have to be this monster, right? But there's flashes, little tiny flashes of the person that they used to be. That's what I believe. And when Smiley's coming down, he's checking out the decor. Okay, he's a decorator. He likes the property. So he has seen it through hundreds of years, and he's looking at it. He's like, I really like what these hippies did, right? Because he's been through many. Yeah, he's been through a lot of different time periods. So I'm guessing that he has seen Colony House be decorated in a lot of different ways, right? And he's like, these
Feeling the
hippies, they've
plants.
kind of changed the way. I kind of like it. They've kept up with the stairs, right? He's making sure that the wood has been nourished and
dusted. Looks like it's
conditioned,
good.
that they're taking care of it. He's like a landlord. He's checking out the premises.
He is, and it is pretty funny to see these moments, because this isn't the only one we get of Smiley as well. Like, we also get that good one of him in the on the bus in season 2, where he kind of sits down on the bus. He's feeling the steering wheel. He's feeling it around. It's like, yeah, I mean, what is that? Is that just that, like you said, that little bit of maybe humanity, that curiosity that is still kind of lurking deep, deep, deep down inside them somewhere? They were human at one point, after all. Or are they completely devoid of everything? Again, I think they show some interest in, just basic human shit. Look at all the stuff they steal from their victims and bring down into the cave, almost like they're
They're
playing
hoarders.
human. It's like they're playing human
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, definitely hoarders.
They
For
were
sure.
human at some point. And what's really interesting is that when you get these flashes of
Mm,
Smiley having interest in human things, he
yeah.
doesn't smile. It is when
Well, you know,
he is kind of taken aback. So
mhm.
when he's in the bus,
Yeah,
he's not smiling when he is clicking around at the
he's got
buttons,
this same
pretending to
look right
drive.
here he's got. Yeah,
He's interested.
yeah,
And right here, as he's touching things, he's not smiling. He's serious, right? But when he's taken aback from whatever he's doing and reminded that he's a monster, the smile is plastered on his face again.
yes.
But it is in this human flashes, of humanity that the smile and the facade kind of goes away. And you
Mm.
see that all of a sudden he's serious, even solemn, even a little
And
solemn, even childlike.
it's not the only time that we see it. Now that you mention it, we see this with Jasmine as well. Right after Jasmine is done killing 70s porn stash Kev, it's almost like she has this moment of like reflection where she's looking in the mirror, cleaning off the blood, and she has almost that same kind of solemn look that Smiley has on his face. So yeah, maybe it's a theme that we're seeing with the monsters early on, because this, it's almost like a similar look there. No smile, no emotion, just
She probably does not get a lot of opportunities to look at herself in a mirror
very
because they're
true,
not in the houses. Now that
very
there's
true.
talismans, they're not walking around looking at mirrors in the houses.
Yeah,
There's no bathrooms for the monsters where they have
yeah,
mirrors, right?
yeah.
They're in the caves, it's all dark. So she doesn't get a lot of opportunities to look at herself in the mirror. So this
Hmm.
must be like, wow, look at me. And
Hmm.
the look that she has is like, oh my god, I'm a monster,
Kind of,
like
yeah,
unhappy,
kind of is.
unhappy with what she's seeing
It's
back. She's not smiling at what she's seeing.
yeah,
She's trying to
it's a
get
little
that blood
solemn,
off. She's literally trying to wash the blood off her hands. Like,
literally,
no, it
off
wasn't
her
me. I
clothes.
did
Yeah.
not do this. I do not want to accept that this is who I am. But then she
Hmm.
sees herself and yeah, this is who she
Yeah.
is.
I feel like this plus, and again, she has every reason to lie as well. But we see her say to Kevin, to 70s porn stash Kev earlier before he lets her in, that it wasn't my choice to be like this. She actually says, "You think it's lonely in there? You should see what it's like out here. I didn't choose to be like this." And again, it almost seems like maybe they were going to go in a bit of a different direction for the monsters in season one. The way that they're set up, the way that we're seeing these glimpses of humanity that we see, early on that we don't really get much of later on. I almost wonder if maybe there was like a slight different direction they had at first, or something maybe they were going to do differently, but chose a different direction overall. But I think the monsters are the most intriguing, just in terms of their behavior. They're the most intriguing in terms of the way that they act in season one, in my opinion.
Mhm. Yeah, listen, when it comes to Jasmine, I 100% defend this girl. Okay. I am Jasmine's lawyer. She did nothing wrong. I don't see anything wrong that she did. Okay. Um, what is the name of the actor? I know you call him Porn Stash, but what is his
Yeah,
Kevin, right?
Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin was wrong for everything he was doing. It shows
Creepy
you that
Kev.
there is nothing holy for a man like Kevin. It's like these are monsters, Kevin. There's a house full of people, of women or men, whatever you prefer. Okay, a town full of people. And out of all of that, you're choosing the monsters. Is there nothing holy for men like Kevin that
Mhm.
even a monster they want to engage in a romantic way with?
Yeah.
Like, come on, Kevin, you deserved it. Some
Yeah, like
things should be left alone.
you're literally
Some
trying to
things are
stick
not
with a monster.
romantic
Yeah.
options. Yes.
You're literally trying to sleep with a
And
monster.
he's so creepy the way that
He's
he
so
talks to
creepy.
her and says like, "Oh, you're warm. I thought you would be cold." That is very disturbing. That is so disturbing. It is
Uh,
like there has to be something on this earth that is holy, Kevin, even because it's monstrous. Like, why
even
is
banging
everything
monsters. Yeah. Like, come on.
exactly? Why is everything a romantic option, dude? Like, stop it. Stop it. And then he gets this attitude. When I was rewatching the episode, when Fatima kisses the other woman, Kev is in the background. That's when we follow him upstairs, and he
Yeah, he
kind of
gets
gets
all
pissed off.
sad.
He gets
Yeah.
pissed off.
Gets all
It's
sad
not a
and
sadness.
pouty. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
it's
like,
kind of
oh, I'm putting my head down. It is
no.
like
Yeah.
he turns away and walks away really quickly,
Frustrated.
almost
Yeah.
like angry. It's like,
Mhm.
dude, Kev, you suck as a person. Okay, if you can't get somebody up in Colony House, you're the
Right?
problem. Okay.
You're the problem, bro. Yeah.
So I defend Jasmine. I don't think she did anything wrong. I think Kev had it coming. I think it was a matter of time. I think he deserved it. Um, I don't like him. I don't like him. And I like that Jasmine showed him, like, you idiot. Some things are meant to be left alone. You
Mhm.
idiot.
Yeah, I mean, she does. She does show him, doesn't she?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, yeah, and Kev's an idiot. Kev's an absolute fucking idiot from top to bottom. No sympathy for Kev, in my book. But people I do have sympathy for are awesome people in the chat, like our pal Xavier Anderson, who just gave us 30 freaking jewels and a clutch emoji, a 10 jewels and a happy poop emoji. Love it. We got a 5 jewels and a treat emoji, another 10 and a gold coin. We got 2 jewels and a silver star, and another 2 with another silver star. Thank you so much, Xavier, my friend. Very, very much appreciate you. And of course, let us know in the chat anything at all that you want to dive into from this episode. What is your favorite part of the Colony House Massacre episode, Xavier? That is what I want to know. What scene is your favorite? A lot of really good scenes in this episode, from this scene, from the smiley scenes, from Katri's death. There's a lot of really good moments. What is your favorite moment in episode 7, Xavier? That is what I want to know, my friend. Let me know in the chat. And thank you so much for all of the jewels. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There we go. The woe wasn't woeing there for a minute. All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And of course, definitely let me know. And that goes for everybody else as well. What is your favorite scene from this episode in particular? Your one favorite scene? Jasmine had Fatima-like transformation. Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, someone else said that in the chat earlier, that is it possible that Jasmine had a similar turn like Fatima did? And I think that is something that we do have to start to kind of consider now, right? Now that we do know that it's not just the original humans, the original parents that got turned into monsters. Potentially other people can get turned into monsters. Does that give a little more context to what Jasmine was saying here in this scene? Was she potentially of a similar situation of Fatima? Maybe she didn't choose to be like this. Maybe she went through the same process that Fatima went through and ultimately ended up becoming this. And maybe that's why we see this solemn look in her face when she looks at herself in the mirror and maybe remembers the human that she used to be. I like that. I think that would totally fit for a character like Jasmine, based on what we've just seen from Fatima, and could also tell us that Fatima might end up losing her humanity too at some point if she's not careful, the more longer she stays a monster. So no, I like that. Again, in hindsight, looking back at this scene after seeing Fatima, I feel like it does give it a little bit new context and at least adds an interesting new theory that yes, maybe good old Jasmine here went through the same process Fatima did. And that's why she said, I didn't choose to be like this.
Yeah, I mean, now that that's an option, we could really look at a lot of the monsters, not
Right?
just Jasmine, as having
Right?
been converted into monsters. So
Exactly.
maybe it was the original parents and everybody else became a
Got turned
monster
along the
because
way.
of, just like Fatima. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's very much a possibility now, right? now that we've seen with our own eyes that residents that get stuck in Fromville can indeed get turned into monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think it's very, very, very much a plausible theory now, 100%. And I like it. I think it's a good one. It's a fun one. And I guess that begs the question, what monsters could have potentially, then you kind of go back and think, or at least I do, okay, what monsters could have potentially also gone through this process? Which ones stick out a little bit more than others? I don't know. The way Smiley got killed and reborn tells me he was probably one of the parents. But I don't know. I don't know about the rest. But it's interesting. Again, it's a new perspective. It gives, if nothing else, a new interesting way to look at the monsters and ask, okay, what if? What if this is what happened to Jasmine as well, and maybe others?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got Sunflower for $5. Thank you so much, Sunflower. PM, when I was watching this episode, I thought of you, said this place tempts them by alcohol, sex, and drugs. That night, all of those things were going on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this was a night where all of that did happen, yeah. Distraction, maybe a better night for the massacre to happen, you think?
Listen, Sunflower, you and me are in sync. We're always in sync. Thank you, Sunflower. Yes, I like that you highlighted that because I made a note about this. When Donna gives her speech, she says, okay, now everybody, you know the deal. Drink and smoke and have fun and party. Julie is sitting there with a little smile on her face. She's also holding a glass. We don't know if they gave her alcohol or not. We don't know. But she's like, okay, you guys know the deal. Drink and smoke and party, take care of each other. This is a bad, bad system that she has here. And that's what I will never understand about Donna. She knows that in this place, people drink. Ellis got drunk. She knows that he tends to get like that. Fatima tells us, oh, around this sort of times he gets like this. So this isn't the first time that Ellis has been drinking a lot. And she punches Dale. So she knows that when people are drinking, they tend to disagree. She herself engages in a physical fight and punches Dale out. She knows the type of atmosphere and environment that she is instigating because she's telling them, Big Mama here in the house is telling you drink and smoke. That's what she's telling you to do, right? So why think that this is a good place for Julie to be in? It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense from the perspective of somebody that's supposed to be responsible. The fact that she's encouraging, I think, could be evidence. There are some people that believe that Donna has worked out some sort of deal with the entity in yellow, that Donna is also bad. I myself never thought about it that way. I just thought that she was, irresponsible and believes herself to be better than she is. However, I always look for clues. If you have the theory that Donna is shady, you could add this evidence to your theory. Why is she instigating removing people's children and having Ellis and Julie with her in Colony House when she knows that that environment is not the safest? And why is she so interested in people drinking and smoking? Why? Why does she almost pushes it on people?
Why does she want it to
So
be one big party? Yeah.
if you have that theory, I think that this is evidence for your theory. She is acting shady. I don't know why you would encourage, after you saw that Frank's family died because he was, getting drunk, that alcohol was to blame for that, for him not paying attention to what he should have been. She's encouraging that. I think that that's shady. Also, let's not forget that when everything happens, when everything goes down, she's like, hey, where's Ellis and Julie? Because she's the worst babysitter on earth, okay? She has always been the babysitter, taking care of other people's kids, taking care of Ellis for Boyd, taking care of Julie for the Matthews, and she's the worst. Her track record of being the worst babysitter
Right, you're
continues.
right.
It
You are right
continues.
there. You are Ethan escapes like no fucking problem in 2 seconds under her
Oh, yeah,
watch.
and Julie too. Julie's all walking through the woods. She's
Yeah.
alone in the house. Ethan
Yeah.
escaped. This is like her track record of being a babysitter sucks.
Mhm.
So she asked when everything is going down, she asked Fatima, "Where's Ellis and Julie? Because she knows I'm supposed to be taking care of these two kids." And Fatima says, "I don't know, but just go down to the town, follow protocol." She's big mama. Instead of saying, "No, no, wait a minute, you go, Fatima, you go, because all you have to
Yeah,
do is
I'm gonna
ride in
go
the
back.
car.
Yep.
I'm gonna go look for the kids I'm supposed to be taking care of." She
Yep.
doesn't. She goes to Fatima, "Okay." And she gets in the
All
van
right.
and
You're
she
not gonna
goes
tell me
to the
twice.
town, dude, knowing that Julie is not in the van, knowing that Ellis is not in the van. She's like, "All right, Fatima, that sounds good. Bye. See ya."
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is a little bit irresponsible when we see, especially. I mean, it's again, it's one thing if you're an adult, you want to do whatever you want, have fun, party it up. But Julie's a 16-year-old girl here. Like she's a child, a literal minor in most states. And yeah, again, yeah, and that's why I'm not really down with how the way Fatima kind of is with her as well. Fatima kind of pushes her into this kind of lifestyle as well, telling her, oh, you made the right choice. Choosing to not stay with your family is the right choice. You made the only choice you could have made for yourself, and it was the right one. And then in this episode, we see her literally breaking out the tiny little skimpy black dress, throwing it on her, Ellis offering her booze, and throwing her out into this weird party. And you wonder why she's asking to kiss you by the end of the fucking episode. Look at the influence you have been having on her. Look at everything that you have been showing her. You're actually surprised and shocked she wants to kiss you now. Look at what you've been doing. So yeah, I think like Fatima was just a horrible role model on Julie in this episode, and Donna as well.
Listen, when they're celebrating the time frame of you being there, that's already strange. But okay, I could work with that. But then when your speech is like, "Let's get fucked up," that's basically her speech. Everybody drink and smoke and take care of each other. That's you as the head of household telling them to do that. Like, you know what we're about. It's like, why do you have to mention it? If they want to do it, then that's different. But she is mentioning it, and that is encouraging it. Now, when
Mhm.
it comes to Fatima, a lot of us in the first season, we were reading this relationship between Fatima, Ellis, and Julie as inappropriate, as grooming, as sending the wrong signals. We were not the only ones. And a lot of people didn't see it. Some people did, but we were not the only ones that saw that. Julie
Mhm.
asked to kiss Fatima because she also was reading it that way. She wouldn't have asked, "Can I kiss you?" if she was not reading the signals that were being sent to her as there is an opportunity, there is a chance. This is what happens here.
Exactly.
It's very
Especially after
casual.
she just sees
We
Fatima
kind
kiss
of
that other
just do
girl.
what we do.
Yeah.
Exactly. She keeps telling her, "You're so beautiful. You would look good." Julie even lets us know by context clues that she's a very insecure child, because she says, "That's not funny." When Fatima says, you know, "You're so beautiful." She's like, "That's not funny." And Fatima says, "I wasn't joking." So she was reading it in that manner too. That's why she thought I might have a chance of kissing her. And Fatima, knowing, "Oh my God, I just turned her down." She is a very young girl. She probably feels super bad and weird about it because I'm her closest friend. I'm the one that encouraged her to believe that this was the right choice. She lets her walk off.
Mhm.
She doesn't follow her. Fatima should have followed her. She just complained. She goes, "Ugh," and that's it. Does not follow her anywhere. Doesn't know where she is. Doesn't say, "Hey, Julie, can we talk about this?" Nothing. She just
Yeah.
lets her go.
Mhm.
Doesn't tell Donna, "Hey, Julie wanted to kiss me. By the way, you might want to know that." No, nothing. Nothing
Mhm.
is done about that. So Victor ends up having to take care of Julie, and he doesn't want to let
Victor,
her
who would
in.
have thunk Victor ends up being the best role model for Julie on Colony House Massacre night?
He regrettably, because he doesn't want to. She asked, so funny. She's like, "Hey, Victor, can I come in?" And he's like, "I would rather you not."
I'd rather not. You
I
don't.
would rather not.
Begrudgingly, a reluctant hero, if nothing else. Then.
Yeah. She has to be like, come on, come on. I don't want to be up there.
Oh man, fucking Victor. But yeah, again, it's just I don't know. I know it's just not the best role model. I think Fatima is, or Donna for that matter, just not the best role models. But one thing I do think was super funny at the beginning of the episode when we do hear, Ellis is trying to, he's trying to offer, booze to everyone. They both turn him down, and I love, Ellis goes, "All right, well, I'll just play it."
Okay, whatever. You guys suck.
Here we go.
Julie, how about you?
I'm good. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, whatever. You guys suck. Victor.
Wait,
Victor,
was he offering her alcohol, Jeremy?
Yeah, he was offering her a
this.
drink.
He was offering her alcohol?
Yeah, but the funny part that I find is that once they both turn him down, he turns around and goes, "Victor, come on, Victor, let's get this party started." Like, Victor doesn't strike me as the party animal type. I wonder what was going through Ellis's mind here, where he thought, "All right, I gotta go hit a Victor now, Victor the party fucking animal." I don't know. I just laughed my ass off at that the first time when I finally realized
it seems predatory. If you ask me, it seems predatory because he's asking Julie, who is a teenage girl that just got there, that is away from her parents, right? She's not old enough to drink, right? She's by herself basically there. He's asking her if she wants to drink, and then he goes for somebody that he knows has the mind of a child. He has been there long enough that Fatima says he's harmless. I know that he looks creepy, but he's really harmless. He's like a kid. So they both know Victor's nature. So he goes from Julie, the teenage girl, to the adult
Victor
with the mind of a child. That's predatory. Why are you trying to get them drunk, dude? Why are you trying to get them drunk? Why not go for anybody else, any of the adults? That's strange to me. That's strange behavior.
I just thought it was funny how he goes.
Now I see why Kenny
Victor
never fucked with him. Now I see why Kenny was like, "I don't fuck with you, Ellis. I never will, never have, and I hate your guts." Now I see why Kenny was like, "This place is bad." Remember how Kenny said, "That place is no place for a family, Boyd."
Well, it's definitely not a place for a family, not with young children, of course not. But no, I just thought it was funny. If anything, the Victor thing anyway. I just thought it was funny where out of all of the people in Colony House that he could choose to go and try and party with, Victor comes to mind. "Hey, Victor, let's get this party started." And then when he goes up to Victor, Victor wants nothing to do with it. Victor's like, "Just please leave me alone."
I think that's messed up, dude. Honestly, he's making Victor uncomfortable. Victor is basically an adult that is neurologically different. Okay, either because of trauma or whatever it is, neurologically he is different. He processes things different. I think it's fucked up if you want to have fun and get him drunk to have fun. I don't read it as let's be buddies and get drunk together. I read it as why would you get somebody like that drunk? You have no
it's
idea how he's going to
irresponsible
process
no matter
that.
which way you slice it. Funny or not, it's irresponsible. Yeah, either way. I just thought it was funny how Victor is the first name that comes to mind when he's trying to think of a party animal to party with. Like, why Victor? I have to imagine Victor is not the drinking type. He just wants his peaches. Just wants his peaches. And of course, this is also the episode where he runs out of peaches. Actually, this is actually the scene right here where Victor finally realizes he runs out of peaches. And he says something interesting, how the peaches were the one thing that never changed. That was the one thing that always stayed the same, which is a kind of little contradictory for, kind of what we get later on when Victor kind of always says nothing changes here when the weather starts to change. But still, this is a big moment for Victor when he runs out of peaches.
I've been putting some other things aside for you. We're all out.
Donna, there's no more peaches.
I know, we're We're all out.
Look at that sink full of dishes,
I have a
guys.
few more cans stashed away in the basement. But
They're
I've been
sink
putting
full
some
of
other
dirty
things aside
dishes.
for you. Some fruit cocktails, some cranberries.
The peaches are gone. All these years, that's the one thing that's never changed. Now they're gone.
Aww. Poor Victor.
I'm sorry, Victor.
Oh, I feel so bad for him, man.
All these years, that's the one thing that's never changed. Now they're gone.
Oh man, Victor, but you just feel so bad for him. I mean, yeah, there is fruit cocktail left. This is true, but and maybe you'll be able to find like a peach or two in a fruit cocktail. A fruit cocktail does usually have peaches in it, so we might be able to find a few there. But yeah, it's not the same. Yeah, dirty hippies, dirty dishes.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you now that we have seen season
Poor
4. You guys, chat, I present to you Exhibit A. This is the first time that we see how dirty the boy in white does Victor. Because we know what he does in season 4. In season 4, he's like, hey, Victor, from the bushes, go on this mission. That is a suicide mission because nobody's going to believe you because you're crazy. So go and do this, okay? It's important. Like, I don't need to give you any more details. Go do my work. And then let him get arrested. But this is the first time that we see Boy in White do him dirty. Boy in White, I believe, has been providing the peaches because he said when he was little, Boy in White told them, you're going to need shelter. You're going to need food. And Boy in White showed him the peach truck.
The truck, yep.
So Boy in White provided those peaches and the truck as a place to hide. He's been providing it for all of this time. And as soon as Boy in White sees that Ethan came in, he's like, okay, fuck you. No more peaches. He's like, I'm not going to keep providing, dude. I've been doing this for decades. Your peaches have gone dry. No more peaches for you, Victor. Not even as a consolation prize for the work that he's put in. He's like, no, I'm not going to give you no more peaches. It's done. It's done. I have my next person. So this is the first time that he completely does him dirty. He's like, no more peaches for you.
And then he proceeds to lead him to the faraway tree, has him go in it, only for Victor to literally land in the caves where the monsters are, where he has to wait there for 3 episodes for Tabitha to fucking show up.
Yeah, he's like, listen, Victor, I don't care. I don't care what you have to do. Just sit down there and be quiet. You know, Boy in White does him so dirty. And it all starts right here with the peaches.
This is episode 7. And Victor doesn't pop up again until episode 10. He's down there in those caves the whole fucking time, just waiting for fucking Tabitha to fall through the fucking hole. That's fucked up.
That too, right? I mean, it starts with the peaches. Then he gets asked to take care of Tabitha. He's also not super happy or excited to help. When we see in this episode that he shows up to tell them where to go, he looks at him and he turns around. He doesn't even say, come on, like he does to Sarah with his little baby hand. Come in here, you'll be safe. He's like, you don't even deserve me talking. I'm not even going to give you the respect of talking to you to tell you where to go. Just follow me. But I agree with Sunflower here. Boy in White did do him dirty. As a kid, he's like, listen, this is going to be hard on you, Victor. You're going to be really lonely.
Yeah.
It would be helpful if you had at least one person in a little white suit that could talk to you. That would be super helpful. But I'm going to leave you. So grab 2 teddy bears and your mom's and sister's clothes, dress them up and talk to them. You'll be all right.
Yeah, you'll be good.
You'll be all right.
Loneliness. Help with the fucking loneliness. Oh man,
you're good.
He does him dirty. He does him dirty. And again, like, yeah, I mean, he's down there the whole fucking time. That's just equally as dirty to me. It's like, this is episode fucking 7, and you got Victor down there just waiting for Tabitha this whole fucking time. Almost 3 episodes. He's just down there in the caves, fucking waiting.
He doesn't respect his time. Boy
Oh, he
and
does not
White
respect his
does him
time.
so dirty. He doesn't respect his time. He doesn't respect all the work that he's put in here. Nothing. He's like, what else do you have to do? Color?
No wonder
Get
he's
out of here with
traumatized.
that.
I wouldn't be surprised if the boy in white is the architect of half of his fucking trauma at this point.
He's
In
the
both
worst person
ways,
to
the
work
reason
for.
he's fucked
Okay,
up.
he's
Yeah.
a bad boss. He's a bad boss. I'll tell you
Talk
that
about a
much.
fucking shit friend.
Exactly. I love when Victor is like, why in season 4 when he said, get out of here. This is private. That's why Victor treats him so badly. I was like, dude, you've been trying to see Boy and White, this entity that you have been asking Ethan about. Finally, you see him in the bushes. And he's had it. He's like, dude, I fucking had it with this Boy and White. He's like, get out of here. This is a private conversation. And then when he's asking why shouldn't they cut down the tree? He doesn't respect them. He just says, I already told you it's important. That was really rude to me. When he said, I already told you, it's like, ooh, attitude. You have attitude in those bushes.
Mm. Yeah, the boy in white definitely does him a bit dirty every once in a while. I mean, and it's not the only character the boy in white does a little bit dirty. I mean, he literally leads Boyd into a similar situation where he sends him into a faraway tree for Boyd to get worms on the other fucking end. So the boy in white he's led some characters into some folly at times.
Listen, the worms is not Boy and White's problem. Okay. Boy and White is to blame for a lot of stuff.
He knew where
But if I was Boy and White, I would be like, listen, Boyd, you got worms because you literally didn't listen when Martin said, hey, respect my body. Don't touch me. Leave me alone. Get out of here before the music stops. Respect my body. And he didn't. He was like, no, I'm going to get you out of here. No man left behind. It's like he was asking for worms. If I was Boy and White, I would have been like, I never told you to get close to creepy man without any pantaloons.
Any creepy dude strung up. I told you to get it.
I never said that.
Well, yeah, he doesn't tell him anything, to be fair. But again, I think it's just Boy and White leading people into interesting situations at times. Little interesting situations. And we've wondered this as well, not just with the monsters, but with the Man in Yellow in particular. Are the monsters even allowed to kill Tabitha? Why she needs Victor to save her? I mean, at this point early on, if you're talking about this, she only needs Victor to save her because she falls into the cave. And that's pretty much why the boy in white tells Victor to stay down here. And the boy in white kind of shows Victor the way out of the cave so he can guide Tabitha out. So that's pretty much the whole reason for this, the whole reason why I imagine the boy in white even led Victor to the faraway tree in the first place, because he knew he was going to need Victor to perform this task. That's pretty much why he has to save Tabitha.
I'll tell you why. Boy in White knows, I believe that Tabitha originally had like the pattern. Okay, this is a pattern that repeats itself. Originally had a son and a daughter. The son survived, Boy in White. The daughter was sacrificed. So the Ankui child. Boy in White knows that she's a problem. That's why he had Victor. He's like, dude, this fucking lady is a problem. She's so problematic. She will not shut up down there, okay? I'm gonna need somebody to help her, okay? She's very problematic. She's very talkative. She's gonna get us into trouble. So she sends Victor. He's like, I don't care if you have to wait 3 days, Victor. Just sit there and wait, okay? She's gonna be a problem. And sure enough, that episode was so frustrating because Victor's like, here's where the monsters are. Please be quiet and follow me.
Stay quiet.
And she's like, what do you mean, Victor? What do you mean? Are the monsters here? What are they doing? Are they sleeping? Where are we going? It's like, oh my God, Tabitha, I swear to God, I was like,
I know.
Hija la chinga. Cállate, be quiet. I don't know how the monsters didn't wake up because they are not light sleepers. They're not. We've seen them. You make any sort of noise, they wake up.
They usually wake up pretty easy from what we've seen. Yeah, I am surprised that they didn't wake up. Yeah. She was making hella fucking noise and Victor was trying to tell her to just shut up. So this is
I would have knocked her out. I swear to God. I would
yeah,
halfway
knocked her out
through,
and
I
dragged
would have
her.
been like, I'll just
Drag
knock her out and I'll drag her.
her.
This is the
Drag
only
her.
way we will survive because this lady wouldn't stop.
Yeah. Fucking shit. But yeah, no, in terms of and yeah, we've seen Smiley kill Miranda, so it doesn't look like the monster. It doesn't look like Jade and Tabitha are safe from the monsters. I think they're more, if anything, safe from the Man in Yellow. That's what I more wonder, if the Man in Yellow can actually kill Jade and Tabitha if he wants to, or is that why he tries to kind of employ these other potential means to try and get some of these other characters killed? Are there certain characters that the Man in Yellow can't touch? Is that why he tries to have Sarah kill Ethan and stuff like that? So yeah, the monsters can probably kill Jade and Tabitha, but I do wonder if the Man in Yellow is maybe prevented from harming them in some manner. But who knows? Just a guess, really. But we have Catherine Eli Saunders for 10 jewels and a gold coin. Thank you so much, Catherine. Very much appreciate that. And Guns and Roses for another 10 jewels and a W. Yes, my friend. Thank you so much for the jewels. You guys are the best. Yeah, Clara's goofy ass was the one placing flowers for porn stash too, erected with Jasmine. Oof, man. I mean, who knows what kind of shenanigans Clara was getting up to. But again, I get the feeling Clara wasn't really doing anything to kind of sabotage anyone. I feel like she was more like one of those sleeper agents where she was just, the Man in Yellow needed to activate her for her to kind of start doing some nefarious deeds. Instead of her kind of like feeding information the whole time. Or who knows? Maybe she could have. I guess anything's possible. But fucking Clara, man, yeah, the whole Clara thing was just, it's just still a little bit too on the nose, with it being that huge fan theory and just it happening to pop up on the show. It just felt a little too fan servicey for me, but funny nonetheless. That's why I don't understand when the boy in white says, I tried to help, but no one will listen, because Victor is constantly pleading him, tell me, I'll do it. Tell me. Yeah, Victor often is straight up trying to just tell the boy in white, hey, tell me what to do. How do I save them? And those were his exact words when Victor goes to chop down the tree. As soon as he hits that tree once, the boy in white shows up and stops him. And Victor straight up asks them, how do I help them? Tell me how to save them. And all the boy in white says is, don't cut down that tree. Very cryptic, not giving out a lot of information. And again, we get at least a little bit of an explanation as to why the boy in white isn't giving this cycle a lot of information. Apparently he did with Christopher, and it seemingly went horribly wrong. And now it seems the boy in white wants these people to figure it out on their own. But again, I mean, it gets to a point where if you're the boy in white and you've seen so many of these cycles play out, you also must be able to recognize that this cycle in particular is getting way further than any other previous cycle did. Wouldn't that be enough motivation alone for you to kind of forget your stupid fucking rule and get into the fucking game a little bit here? And maybe he will in season 5. Maybe that's what they've all been building up to, for the boy in white to finally kind of get a little bit more involved in the final season. But man, he has been the shittiest helper up until this point. Boy in white. Yeah, Victor's cut off. Victor is cut off from the Peaches. But yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. And again, we still know nothing about the boy in white. We don't know anything about his origins, where he comes from, who he really is. There's a lot of good theories out there. Is he the original son of the original Jade and Tabitha, like PM was talking about? Was he one of the Onkui children that escaped? There's a lot of really interesting theories around the boy in white. But we know nothing about him yet. And yeah, it gets a little annoying every once in a while. Yeah. And I think that's why the boy in blue, or young Jade, that we saw in season 4 was so well received by, from what I could tell, a big portion of the fandom, because it was almost like a version of the boy in white that was actually giving real definitive solid answers for a change. And it just felt different, after so many seasons of chasing these answers and watching Jade chase these symbols, these numbers, everything in between, to finally being on the receiving end of actually getting real answers, real knowledge. It just had a totally different feel in that episode. And again, in a good way too. And I think that's why the little boy in blue was very, very well received. It's like, okay, this is a fucking version of the boy in white that's actually given us something for a fucking change. Hell yes, more of that.
You know what though? I have to. We have to be fair here to the boy in white. He's been
Yeah.
doing this for decades. He's exhausted with these people. He's like, I swear to God, these fucking people. He's had it with them. Okay, he's been doing it for a long time, and an example of that would be the tree, the bottle tree, the faraway tree. When Victor tries to chop down that tree, he shows up. He never shows up on demand, but he does show up on demand during that time. And he's like, Victor, that tree is important. Don't cut down the tree. And he has his little fist all balled up, like he's ready to go. He's like, I will beat this.
I
He's
will
like,
drop you if you swing that thing one
he
more time.
literally has his fist all balled up, like he's ready to go. He's like, I swear to God, Victor, don't make me do it. I'll smack you.
Swing one more time. Swing one more time.
Exactly. He's like, don't do that. Okay. He's really pissed off. And he shows up and he's like, don't chop down that tree. It's important. And then he disappears, right? And then they come up with the greatest idea. We are going to rip out the tree. We're going to grab that special tree and we're going to rip it out. He's had it, dude. He shows up again and he's like, dude, if I told you don't chop it, why would you think pulling it would be acceptable? I told you don't chop the tree, but now you come up with the idea of completely uprooting it. What sense does that make? You're not listening. If I didn't want you to chop into it, then definitely don't pull the tree. You're not reading the context clues here. So I understand why he's frustrated because I don't know who hears this is the hope tree, a magical tree, and thinks, let's rip it out. Let's grab it and rip out the hope tree. That's why he's frustrated. And I would be too. I'm like, oh my God, you guys.
Yeah, again, he's tried to help in the past. It's not like he hasn't tried. We can at least give the boy in white that. Whatever kind of help that he has given all of these past cycles definitely seems to be a little bit more than what he's doing now. At least in the case of the Christopher cycle, the 78 cycle, where he clearly told Christopher what he needed to do. But for some reason, everything went horribly wrong. And it seems like that might be the catalyst as to why the boy in white took a big step back. And again, I don't think it's so much that the boy in white can't help. That the boy in white is not allowed to help them. They have to figure it out on their own. The forces of good can never win by cheating. I don't think it's cheating. Again, I think we have already an example of the boy in white. He already has helped. He helped Christopher. He tried to help the previous cycle. Something went clearly wrong there. And I think that's what has chosen him to take a step back. Because he pretty much admits it. We hear him say, I tried to help with Christopher. You guys need to figure it out yourself this time. Whatever happened during that previous cycle, him helping, whatever it amounted to, he must have felt that this cycle.
Christopher was allowed to handle. That's what I read into it.
Christopher was
He's like, Christopher was a whole
but I
lot
don't
to
think
handle.
that,
I can't do it anymore.
But I don't think it indicates that he can't help in any way, because he's tried to help in the past.
Christopher does look problematic though. He just gives me this vibe of a difficult person. He looks problematic. I probably would get over him too.
We know he was problematic. We don't even have to really infer. We kind of see it because we see that little flashback when Victor finally remembers that it wasn't a freaking talking doll and that it was actually the boy in white and Christopher talking. He sees Christopher just rejecting everything the boy in white is telling him.
Everything lies. He was raising his boys at the magical boy.
Full on crash.
It's like, you're literally going to crash out on the magical ghost child. You're out of order. You are out of order, okay? You're out of your element.
He did. He totally crashed out on the boy in white. He really fucking did. It's almost
That's
like
why he's like, I'm not gonna help these people. I'm not gonna help these people. Look at how they treat me. They don't respect me.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm a magical entity.
I tried to help you, and you guys were complete friggin' numbskulls. I'm not trying.
You have no respect for my position or power here.
My help.
You don't deserve it. And I will tell you this: we can see he could not be helpful, but have a good attitude. Okay, if I was Victor, I would be like, listen, you don't want to help me, whatever, don't help me. but at least have a nice attitude about it. At least smile and tell me to go fuck myself with a smile on your face. Like, be nice about it. And you know what? He has the ability to be nice, and I'll tell you why.
Yep.
When he says to Sarah, "Hi, Sarah," he has a very nice voice. He's like
Yep.
very helpful with his little finger. "Sarah, go in there. You'll be safe. You were right. You made this place angry." He has a whole combo with Sarah, and he sounds really nice and helpful. When he first sees Ethan, he smiles, he waves, and he has a positive and a nice attitude. But all of a sudden, with Victor, he's just super serious. He looks pissed off all the time. He changes. His attitude has
Had it
changed.
up to here, yeah.
As he got older, he got creepier too.
Victor might be the reason he's fucking aging. He's stressing the fucking boy in white out after all these fucking years, and he's fucking
Somebody
aging.
said it in the chat. And I love that comment because somebody said it in the chat.
I didn't see that. I
In
swear.
the middle of him with his little fist, he's having the worst fucking day ever. Okay, he wakes up, he's like, it's another day in Fromville, but he's waking up and there's so much going on. Men in Yellow is out. The Yankui children are trying to remind Tabitha who she is. Tabitha's freaking out. Jade is everywhere freaking out. People are, all over the place. And then on top of it, Victor wants to chop down the tree. So he's busy. There's a lot going on that day. It's a bad day for him. He shows up to say, hey, don't chop down the tree. He's pissed off. And then Victor, instead of saying, okay, why, let's have a combo here, he's like, hey, you look different. Like pointing out
you look different.
How
So
he
do
looks. Yeah, he's had it. That's why he's like, you know what? You're nobody to talk about somebody looking different, because when I met you, you did not look like this. Okay. How dare you tell me that I look different? On top of it, he's like pointing out that he doesn't look well. It's like when you're going out, right? You're already having a tough day, and then somebody tells you, you look so tired.
Oh,
Are
you
you
look
sick?
horrible.
You look sick. Yeah, it's like, I always say, I'm not tired. What now then? Huh? Are we gonna fight it out? What now? I'm not tired.
I'm not tired. You're tired.
What do you mean? I'm not tired.
I'm tired. You're tired. Oh shit. Yeah, it could be. I mean, the boy in white could just be extremely, extremely stressed. Yeah, just all these years of just trying to deal with Victor, it might have just been a little too much for him, and he's just completely losing it now. But we also have My Kung Fu for 250 jewels and the MVP. Thank you so much, My Kung Fu, for the 250 jewels. Very, very much appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. But yeah, Victor, man, poor Victor, poor boy in white. Maybe he's just had a little too much, a little too many of these cycles he's endured. Yeah, the 78 cycles was my pop punk band in college. That's wild. Interesting. 78 cycles. Yeah, again, the boy in white has seen many of these cycles, I would imagine. Many of these cycles. Yeah, Victor says Christopher was nice at first and became angry because of the symbol. Yeah, we did hear that Christopher seemed to go down some kind of a dark path, and Victor does attribute it to the symbol. Yeah. Which is why I think, a lot of us were worried that Jade might go down a similar path during those first few seasons before we really learned, who Jade is and what the symbol really is. Now that Jade has kind of solved the riddle of the symbol, I don't think that's going to drive him down any kind of crazy path like probably did Christopher, who maybe just wasn't able to figure it out, or at least just couldn't handle what the boy in white was telling him to the point where his mind just fucking snapped. But yeah, something seemed to go pretty wrong with Christopher, is what it seems, for sure. Let's see what else we got. We have Sunflower for another 10. Thank you so much, Sunflower, for the 10. Very, very much appreciate you. And yes, this is the Dreamcatcher episode when good old Donna gives Fatima the Dreamcatcher. Very true. The Dreamcatcher given to Fatima and the words from by Donna. The catcher is divided by 4 sessions: the hoop, the web, the feathers, and the beads. PM, if you're looking for meanings, PM, if you're looking for the meanings, is interesting. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's just me, and I'd love to get your take and everybody else's take on this as well. But it seemed like they were really kind of hyping up this whole Dreamcatcher thing a little bit early on in season 1. Like, I don't know. I thought that the Dreamcatcher thing was going to go somewhere a little bit bigger, because not only do we get this scene here, but we get so many shots of the Dreamcatcher just right there in the forefront of the shot. I thought that there was going to be something a little more with these Dreamcatchers, at least story-wise, but we didn't really get that.
And you know what, Sunflower? I did make a note of that. I think that there's some symbolism there. I think you're 100% right, because when you see a dream catcher, the pattern that the string has around the circle is very reminiscent of a spider's web. So if you look at how they tie the rope around it, it is like a spider's web. And it has beads to signify that it's catching, right? It's catching whatever bad dreams you may have. So it is protection. If you look at how the spiders kind of catch things in their, how do you say this in English? Telaraña, spider's web. The spider's web is gentle because it's not firm, it's not made out of wire. It's a very gentle thing, but very powerful. So, like we were talking about last weekend, a lot of people associate in the modern world spiders with a negative connotation, but to a lot of other cultures, they were something positive, something that would help you keep you away from harm. So I think that there's that symbolism, and that is the intent. Donna says to her, this is so that it could catch all of the bad dreams and only let the good ones in. So I think they're already telling us there is a spider deity at work, and the spider deity is helping. It's trying to help you as much as it can. Now, when you look at the feathers to me remind me that there are crows all over, that the first thing you see when you come into From is the fallen tree and the crows. And I think that those are also positive things, the crows. I know that they are referred to as a murder of crows, right? They have a whole conversation letting us know. We know that it may be a bad omen, and that's where maybe you're going towards, but it could also be a kindness. This could be a kindness of crows. So I think the spider and the crows are both positive forces trying to prevent them from the nightmare creatures. Now, what do they call the monsters? We call them monsters. But think about the Sunflower. The monsters are called nightmare creatures. The dream catcher, Donna says, is to keep the nightmares away and only let the good ones in. I think that there's a lot. If we read into it, it's letting us know there is a spider deity. These nightmare creatures cannot get into it, right? She wants to protect Fatima. Some people were thinking that Donna was the spider. So if that is your theory, here's more evidence. She's literally gifting her this thing that is going to keep the nightmare creatures away. It ends up not being successful later on down the line because of Boyd, but she's kind of gifting her that protection.
Yeah, and Joy Vine brings up Anansi, the spider deity, which I actually did a video on Anansi, the spider deity, pertaining to From a few weeks ago when the season was on, and it was so fun, kind of diving a little bit more into that figure, into that deity, that character, because yes, like you said, a lot of people see spiders and they kind of, there's these negative connotations that are attached to spiders, but in many other cultures, there are a lot of positive attributes to them, one of which being knowledge and stories, the art of storytelling. And that's where Anansi comes in. Anansi is a spider deity, and he's also just happens to be the god of storytelling as well, which fits super well into the From kind of mold, especially when you think of Jade's journey in season 4, episode 5, when he finally gets his memories back. What does he have to do to get those memories back? He has to drink blood from the skull, a skull that might have even been his original body. And as soon as he's done drinking the blood, he looks down and he sees spiders, bunch of spiders. That was the episode where I first started really actually considering that the spider element on From might not be a villainous one, might not be an antagonistic one. This might be this might actually be something that is on their side, because it seemed like the spiders were gifting Jade this knowledge and guiding Jade on this journey. Because that's not the only time we see the spiders in that episode. Right at the very beginning, we see the spider kind of crawling up the window. And then we see the spiders kind of all over Jade. And it's that reaction that gets Jade to look up and see the sign that says answers pointing into the woods. Almost like the spiders are guiding Jade along his journey. Then again, he sees him again when he drinks the blood inside the skull. And then again, at the end of the episode, he sees another bigger spider right when he finds the hidden door down in the colony house, the hidden door he finds. So yeah, that was the first episode where I really started thinking like, okay, maybe this spider element on the show isn't some kind of bad omen. Maybe this is something that is actually trying to help them. And I like the whole Anansi thing because, again, it's a symbol of knowledge, a symbol of storytelling, and that's pretty much what Jade got downloaded with in that episode. He got knowledge of his past. He got stories of all of his past lives. And it just kind of fits in with that whole spider mythology and some of that spider symbolism. Where not all cultures view spiders as negative connotations. Most of them don't actually. So no, I like it. I think you guys might be right that these spiders might not be a nefarious element.
I don't think they are, and I have a new theory. Do you have a picture of Abby when she is in that spider web, that ginormous spider web, that iconic picture?
I do. Let me find
So I'll
it.
tell you about it. I was trying to think of positive connotations with spiders in the modern American world. And Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web, she was a positive spider. She's like, babe, you want to win? I will help you, babe. You're going to be the best pig in town. And Charlotte's Web was a positive connotation. But this is my new theory, guys. So the dream catcher, like Sunflower was saying, the dream catcher is given to Fatima as a sign of protection. There's spider symbolism within the spider's web. It is a sign of protection of if it's enveloping you, it is protecting you. It is keeping you from something worse. Maybe when you're enveloped in the spider's web, you're thinking this is a negative thing, but it's probably keeping you from something worse. So if you have that picture, I don't know. When we see Abby, when we see Abby, it looks very ominous.
Actually, I don't need the picture. I don't need the picture. I can go right to the episode and we can bring up the scene. Let's do that.
When we see Abby, it's very ominous and negative looking because she's wrapped, completely wrapped head to toe. We know that she is dead, but head to toe, her physical self is wrapped in a spider, a giant spider's web, a white spider's web. Now, this is my new theory. I believe that the spider is good. The spider is not bad. It is protecting Abby. We now have more information about the entity in yellow. In season 4, the entity in yellow tells us, I can only take the form of people that have died here. Who died there? Abby. Abby died there, right? I believe that the spider, when Abby died, wants to protect Boyd from the entity in yellow using Abby's form to trick him or to do things. So she has wrapped around her spider web Abby's form, Abby's soul. She's keeping it there so that the entity in yellow cannot take Abby's form to torment Boyd. Abby, because she is dead and she was very troubled, is misguided. Sometimes she has her own opinions about this world. We know that she wasn't mentally well when she shot up everybody. But then she shows up and she's processing along with Boyd saying, hey, I think I was wrong. And when he asks for a sign, she gives him the sign, right? So she's helpful.
Yeah. And I
that's
always thought
what
that
I
was
think is happening. She's covered in the spider's web from head to toe so that the entity in yellow cannot use her form to torment Boyd. She has embraced her, like, I'm keeping her from you. You cannot take her form.
Okay. Interesting. And And I mean, and could her potentially breaking out of it here in this moment be a reason why her form can get used in season 2 potentially? You know, because we see something uses her form at the end of season 2 that tries to convince Boyd to not smash the music box.
I think that could
So
be her.
I thought that could actually be Abby. I don't know. I don't know. If
Abby
that could
was
actually-
mentally very unwell. Abby was not okay. Abby has her own theory about From. And if left to her own devices, she doesn't know what's going on. She just knows that her soul is trapped. So her theory continues. Hey, this place is a bad place. My soul is trapped here. I haven't gone anywhere. Why are you going to continue to do anything, Boyd, when I already seen that even in death, you don't get to escape, right? So she is feeling despair. But then she changes and she comes back and she says, I was wrong. You should do this. So she's showing you that it was her all along. Otherwise, she wouldn't say, I was wrong about this place. She would just come with a
That
positive
was really
message.
Abby. That one was really Abby, I think, when she says, I
But
was
she
wrong.
wouldn't say, I was wrong about this place, because she wouldn't have said, if that was really Abby, she wouldn't have said the negative message. She would be like, what the hell are you talking about? I never said anything. You
Mhm.
know, I think that it was her. She's processing. She doesn't understand that this is for her own good, that she's wrapped in this major spider web for her own good. All she knows
Mhm.
is that her soul is trapped. And
Yeah.
so she doesn't see the bigger picture. And as she's processing, she gets to the point where she says, you know what, Boyd, I was wrong. I do think you should go out into the woods. I do think that you should risk it all. Because Boyd asks, if you say swing, I'll swing. And she says, go for it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's what I
Mm,
think is happening.
yeah.
Her soul has been protected in the spider web by the spider deity so that the men in yellow cannot take her form.
Mhm. Maybe. That might be. And I don't think it was the man in yellow that took her form in season 2. It seemed like it was more of the entity that was the kind of antagonist in season 2. What was kind of released when Boyd was in what Boyd released. And we even kind of hear it taunting Boyd towards the end of season 2. It very much seemed like it was taking on Abby's form there at the end of season 2 when Boyd was back in the dungeon trying to stop Boyd from destroying a music box, and hence it with it. And some of the things that it said, I mean, it was a very nefarious scene where, you know, Abby's just trying to convince Boyd to just let them all die. They're all going to die anyway. Like it just seemed way too nefarious to be the real Abby in that scene. I think it was the real Abby in this scene at the end of season 1. Again, that much more lines up with her character, and I think what she would probably say to Boyd in terms of realizing, like, I was wrong. You know, and when she says I was wrong, it's most likely her referring to that I was wrong about my theory, that this isn't a dream. There are worse things out here than the monsters. That seemed like that was very much a genuine Abby, but the Abby at the end of season 2 in the dungeon with Martin just seemed way too nefarious to really be that. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think it's a positive thing. I think that this spider web exists somewhere out there in the woods.
Okay.
Now that they don't have the talismans, I do still believe that they need to get to the lighthouse, because Boy and White says, hey, go to the lighthouse to save the children. So somewhere out there in the woods is the spider web. And going back to what Sunflower said, when we look at the dream catcher, the spider web represents keeping away the nightmare. What are the creatures called? Nightmare creatures. I think that this tree can give them protection. If you look at the tree, the floor, the ground is littered with spider webs. It's all covered
Tons.
like a massive thing. So I believe that even if they don't have the talisman, if they could get to that tree, they could keep
Could they
away from the
find
monster
new
creatures.
protection?
I bet you the monster creatures cannot go into that part of the woods.
Can they go this far? Yeah. And that's one thing I've always wondered as well. Are the nightmare creatures, is there a certain radius in which they can't go too far from the town, or they can't go too far from their caves, maybe, essentially? Because we see whenever our characters are even as far as the ruined settlement, we never see any monsters out there. It's almost like it's almost like there's a certain threshold that they maybe don't cross or can't cross even, I wonder. Because I just always found that interesting that we don't see any of the monsters in any of the other parts of the forest, only at the town and the surrounding forest right near the town. The further you get away from here, it's like you run into other shit like fire mitts, of course, but it doesn't seem like the monsters can venture this far, or at least they don't anyway.
I think that they could be all over because we saw them over at the van when the Matthews family got there. They were surrounding
I
the
think that's within
Matthews
their
family
radius.
van.
I think that's within their
So
radius.
this is what I'm thinking. Okay. Do you remember the ballerina, how she showed up and we thought it was a bad thing because she kept freaking Boyd out?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Turned
she
out to
was
be
just
kind of
like,
a good thing, maybe.
she
Yeah,
was showing him what to do. I think
with
the
the
same
worms.
thing might be happening. Yeah, but she was freaking him out. I
Yeah,
think the same thing might be happening here with Abby.
with the
What does
spiders.
Abby do? Yeah, what does Abby do when Boyd gets close? Boyd is traveling. He
Grabs
comes
him.
across this tree. He goes over to Abby and she grabs him like a monster with her hand, but she's stuck. She can't follow. Boyd runs away and he's able to run away, but she's stuck in the spider web and can't get out. I think that they're going to have to make the journey to the lighthouse without talismans. And Abby is showing him you cannot kill the monsters, but you know what you can do, Boyd? If you lead the monsters here, she's acting like a monster. The monsters will get trapped in the spider web and they will not be able to get to you.
Ooh, okay.
You trap. What does the Dreamcatcher do?
Traps
The
evil.
Dreamcatcher traps nightmares, right? What
Mhm.
are the creatures? They're nightmare creatures.
Nightmare creatures. I mean,
What is Abby doing? Abby is grabbing his hand like a monster, like a nightmare creature. She
yeah.
is showing him, just like the ballerina, by freaking him out. Look, you're able to walk away, but I'm stuck here. I get stuck here. You can't kill them, so you can't risk that anymore. But if you
Mhm.
lead them here, they'll get stuck in my webs and it'll allow you to continue your journey without having to worry about them. You get what I mean? That
Mhm.
is the dream catcher. That's what I mean. This tree with the spider webs is an actual dream catcher,
It's
nightmare
a
catcher.
giant dream catcher meant to catch the
Yes.
monsters, maybe. I like that. I
It
like that.
doesn't kill them.
Super interesting.
It just holds them
Might
and they
just
can't
trap
move.
them. I mean, if
Exactly.
even if it only traps them, it takes them off the board. That's good enough. That is
You
it
could
buys
go
them
do
enough
whatever you
time.
need to do without
Exactly. It
worrying
buys
about
them
them.
enough time to do whatever they need to do with the bones, whatever ritual, whatever that
And it's
entails.
showing him, look, you can walk away. The spider webs are not grabbing you, they're just grabbing me. And I'm reaching for you, but I can't move. So just like the ballerina is showing him, this is very scary, but this is what you must do. I
Mhm.
believe that this tree is the real life dream catcher of From. Don't
Ooh,
kill
okay.
them. That is not the thing you have to do. You have to lead the monsters there and they'll get stuck in the spider webs.
Mhm.
That creature, the spider creature, will trap them, not kill them, but keep them there so that they can reach you and you can continue your journey.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it's. I mean, it would be a fun way to bring the whole Dreamcatcher thing back into the actual story, into the actual narrative. Because I did always wonder where is this going to go. That they set this Dreamcatcher thing up pretty interesting in the first season, and then doesn't really kind of go anywhere. Even though we see these Dreamcatchers throughout the whole season, every time we're upstairs in Ellis and Fatima's room, we see these Dreamcatchers up there. So I always wondered, hell, they even get married in front of it. So I always wondered if it would kind of play a bigger part in the story. And, if your theory comes out to be correct, that would be the perfect way to bring it back into the narrative. So I like
This
it. I
would
think
be
it's
perfect
yeah,
because
it would
you can't kill them, right? You cannot kill the monster. It's a losing game.
yes. But you can
What you
trap them,
need
you can get them
is
off the
somebody
board,
to
so you have
trap them for
time.
you.
Yeah,
And
time to
that is
do what you need
what
to do.
this place is showing you. It's showing you there are so many spiders in this tree.
And you know what
You know
makes
how
it
the trees are
yeah?
the protectors? The bottle tree and the faraway tree are protectors. This tree is also a protector, but in a
I
different form.
almost wonder if this tree is the center of it and in this whole web. Like, I mean, look how big it is. This web goes
Yeah,
by
you put the
so
monsters in
far.
there,
It's
you
a
could catch the
huge
whole lot of them.
radius. Exactly. It's a huge radius here that could potentially be a one giant trap. It's not like a small little space.
Exactly. And remember, spider webs are known for being gentle. They're very fragile, very gentle, but they're able to catch predators to the spider, people, things that would harm it, right? Or things that it would consume. So I think if you get the monsters there, it would catch the lot of them, not kill them, but
Mhm.
keep them so that you can do what you
Yeah,
need to do.
was Abby trying to show Boyd what to do? Bring the
Yeah,
monsters here,
just like the
pull the
ballerina.
monsters into here. Yeah,
She was
I
like,
like it.
"Look, I'm trying to grab for you. I can't get out." Because
Yeah,
she
I
couldn't.
like
She
it.
could not escape.
I like
I
it.
think that that's what it is. I
I
think
like
that's
it.
what it
Abby
is.
was
What
trying to
should we
show
call this
Boyd the
theory?
way, trying to show
I'm
him
gonna
the
call
way.
this
This is the
theory the spider web, the dream catcher.
way. The dream, yeah, this is the dream catcher spiderweb theory. Fucking love it.
Yeah, there we go.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And Sunflower brings up another super chat. Thank you so much, Sunflower, for the 5. I found this. Beads and stones represents the good dreams caught in the web and the presence of the spider, reinforcing the protective symbolism. And that's the thing. Spiders, there's so many positive kind of connotations and symbols. Spiders are symbols of so many things beyond just kind of, how we kind of perceive them in the modern day to be scary, creepy insects. They represent things like wisdom, knowledge, strength, protection, regeneration. There's tons of kind of different interpretations of to what spiders mean to so many different cultures around the world. So yeah, it definitely fits right into that kind of protective kind of symbolism. 100%, son. 100%.
Sunflower, I love it. I love it. It is that protective symbolism. It
Yeah.
is that way of saying, I still have a way of helping you. The talismans are gone. And we know that we have all been
They
thinking,
need this now more than
how will
ever
they be
because the
protective?
talismans are gone.
The
Yeah.
talismans are gone, right? How will they be protective? So without the talismans, this is what he has to do. He has to lead them towards the protection of this massive dream catcher. They're nightmare creatures. I think that's why their name is nightmare creatures. Even though
Maybe
the
that is.
creators of From have told us they are not in a dream. That's what
No,
they've said. They're not in a dream.
they've said
But
that.
why
Yeah.
do they call them nightmare creatures? Maybe
No.
because that is their function. Their function is that once they come into contact with this
They're
tree, it's
living
also a
nightmares.
protected tree. This
Mhm.
is another way of the humans having access to safety and protection, like Sunflower is saying, from the spider deity
Yeah.
when the talismans are gone.
Yeah. No,
And
I
Boyd has seen it because he was. What happens every time you venture out into the forest? You come back with knowledge, with
yeah.
something helpful, right? You have
Usually,
to go
Boyd
through
always
through
does. Yeah.
yeah, he has to go through a lot, right? But he
Yeah, he
gets
has to go through
rewards
some
for
trials.
venturing out.
He has to get some worms along the way, but he comes back with a good amount of knowledge.
Knowledge is knowledge,
Knowledge is
just
power.
get a dewormer and you're good.
Yeah, just find yourself a
but
smiley, stick him in his neck, you're good to go. No,
but
I like it.
I think for Boyd at the time he couldn't see it, but he will be able to think back and put it together as he's traveling. He knows, well, out there in the forest we don't know much, but I know that there's a tree with huge spider webs, and he's going to think back to this, right? From has a really good way of bringing everything back. So that tree, we didn't see it for no reason. Look at the work that it took to make the tree and the
Mm.
surrounding.
The
That takes a
surrounding
lot of work.
areas massive. Like even going all the way back, like right when Boyd and Sarah get out of their tent, they're already surrounded, completely surrounded by webs. So the radius of this area of webs is bigger than even we've really seen.
Yep.
We have no idea how big these webs
I mean, it's big
go.
enough to catch a human size
Easily.
thing, like we
Easily.
see with Abby, right?
Multiple of them easily. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
So
massive.
this takes a lot of work for them to bring back the rope, a basic rope. They brought that full circle. Do you think they're not going to bring this back? Oh, for sure they're going to bring this back. If they went and circled back to the rope, I guarantee you the massive spiderweb tree will come full circle.
I hope
They
so. I
don't
mean, they
miss
did
with the
say
details.
they did say, and when they did the Reddit thing recently, the From creators, they did answer a question about the spiders. And the question wasn't about a spider deity, but the question said, "Will the spider symbolism get explained in season 5?" And they said yes, it will. So we are going to get some kind of answer as to what's going on with the spider element on the show. We will be getting something, unless they're lying
and
to us, which I don't think they are.
no, I don't think they're lying. But Sunflower reminds us when Ethan talks about the spider, it is in connection to the Lake of Tears.
The Lake of
So
Tears,
as
yeah.
they're, if we
Just
put it
like it is in the
together,
drawing.
exactly. If we put it together, the Lake of Tears is a positive thing. It means the possibility of bringing something back from the dead, right?
Resurrection.
And the
Yep.
spider comes
Rebirth.
down. When you look at the spider webs, they go all the way up the tree. Maybe there is a deity up there in the tree, up above, and then maybe it will come down.
Maybe that's its nest. Maybe that is its home
Exactly.
base. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's already telling you it is here to protect you. I think he just needs to put it together. I would lead the monsters out there. I would lead them out there
I
and
would
get
see if
them
you
all
could.
caught up.
I would see if you could. But what someone said in the chat earlier, an explanation as to why the monsters don't venture very far, and maybe it's true. I hope I can find the chat again so I can give the person credit who said it. But it was something along the lines of, maybe the monsters don't venture out too far because they can't. They can't go too far because daylight will eventually come and they have to get back into the caves before it gets light. So as limited as the humans are from traveling into the woods without talismans, the monsters are just as limited in terms of how far they can go. They can't go too far away from the caves. Otherwise, they'll get caught out in daylight. So maybe that is an explanation as to why they stick around to the town a little bit more.
I don't think that is something we know. I don't think that is something we can infer. We know that they move. They don't just live. Yeah, they don't just live in one place in the caves. Kenny and Boyd.
Yeah.
Kenny and Boyd, they say there's a cave system all throughout, right? And they're looking for them. And Boyd says, I'll go down there and, we could set them on fire, but they probably moved, right? And they did. They moved. They mentioned that they're not in the cave system where they used to be. So they have the ability of moving underground. We see that there's openings towards the cave that are out there in the woods. When Fatima goes out there, that's an opening towards the cave. So we don't know how far away the system is. There might be openings all throughout the forest. We don't know. We haven't seen them venture out into the forest because humans haven't gone out there. I think if humans were to go out there, they probably would go out there and have different entrances that they could be underground. I don't think that they're limited. I think they could roam around all of From. There is no place where, I can go past this place. And I think that the underground cave system, if we see it go as far as we have, then there's no reason to believe that it's not under all of the trees. Remember, when they pulled that tree, the bottle tree that they were not supposed to pull, underneath there's the cave system. So they're all under the trees. They might be all over the entire woods.
Yeah, it's hard to tell how vast these cave systems are. They could go all throughout Fromville for all we know. But just in terms of the monsters moving on land, they're limited in how far they can actually travel because they have to get back underground before the sun comes up. And I think
there's entrances everywhere, so they could
go
through different entrances.
But we also don't see the monsters popping up. Once you get a little bit further away from town, the monsters just don't appear. Like at Cannibal Village, not one monster has ever showed up that far from town. And I think that just could be, at least evidence that they stick close to town, that they don't venture too far, potentially.
I don't know. Because we don't know who knocked.
We don't know who knocked.
Could it have been a monster?
Maybe. Could have been. Could have been a monster. Could have been fire mitts for all we know.
Yeah, we don't know who knocked Could it have been a monster? We know the myths creatures were on the lake. They hadn't pulled the rope yet. So we
True.
don't know. I think
NPC
we need more
Roger.
information. We need more info. As of right now, we can't say for certain either or. We
Yes,
need more
I
info.
think that's fair. I think that's more than fair. We have circumstantial evidence at best in terms of where the monsters can really travel to. We don't really know yet. Where are the doll monsters hanging out? I mean, there's a few still alive out there, that's for sure. If they are trapped in a web and daylight comes, game over. And again, it's the perfect trap. I mean, you catch these things, they're all stuck. Like PM said, it doesn't kill them outright, but it gets them off the board and gives the people time enough to do whatever they need to do with the bones, whether that's take them to the lighthouse, perform whatever ritual they need to perform. And yeah, I mean, if the monsters are trapped above ground in some kind of net, some kind of web, what's going to happen when the sun comes up? We saw what happened for a split second when, the sun kind of hit them when Jade and Tabitha were down there. And it didn't look like it physically really hurt them, other than it kind of looked like it was just like, like they
It
kind of
bothers their eyes.
it bothered their eyes more than anything.
It bothered their eyes. You've been underground for so long.
Right?
It's even us,
man.
you stay home enough. You go out into the
Right?
sun and it hurts.
True. Very
Imagine
true.
centuries.
Imagine centuries, how your eyes having to adjust to that. That'd be probably so painful.
Maybe it's just uncomfortable. Maybe they're like, I'm just uncomfy.
But no, I like the idea of it being kind of part of the curse. Like if they were like actually cursed to become these things, if the children were able to kind of pull some kind of whammy on them during the sacrifice, I like the poetic justice of the monsters suffering the same fate that the children had to suffer, being born in the dark and dying in the dark. You are damned to the dark from now on. You can't be in the light. But no, I don't know. Again, we don't have enough definitive information yet in terms of what the sun will really do to them if they're caught out there for more than a split second, because all we've ever seen is just a split second so far. So yeah, I don't know. Will the sunlight?
And Smiley, he didn't get set on fire,
Smiley was out
but
there,
he was also dead.
But he was dead. Yeah.
We need more info. I think that the trick, I'm really liking this theory of mine, if I do say so myself.
I love the big fucking spider web theory. I mean, if you can trap them in something like that, that'd be genius.
That's what you need to do. I think that the problem with the nightmare creatures is you can't kill them. So you're already thinking, what the hell am I going to do?
How do I get them off the board?
It's not convenient for me to kill you. Literally, you're going to come back and it's going to mess with more of our people. What can I do? Right? The answer is not to kill you. It's simply to trap them. But they're so powerful and they're so strong. We saw how they broke into that box when they were getting franked.
Yeah,
those are strong creatures.
Super strong.
So it would be trapping them. Now, I would like to remind you guys, I'm telling you, my theory has legs, like somebody said in the chat. It has legs, a spider legs. Who was thinking of wanting to trap a monster and then they dropped it? It didn't come back. But we could bring it full circle. Who mentioned the idea of trapping a monster?
Boyd trying to use the talisman. A popular fan theory. That was one of the first popular fan theories that popped up into the show.
He's always wanted to trap a monster. He always had that idea. He just needs to remember in season 5, put it together. I've seen this ginormous place in the woods with spider webs. I can't kill them. I've seen what happens. I can trap the monsters in the webs. I saw Abby. She tried to reach for me. She was trapped. She couldn't follow me. So if he puts all of those pieces together, then we could come full circle. 1, on the spider. 2, knock out the whole trapping a monster theory, because he was right. He was correct. The right idea here is trapping them, not killing them. He just needs to put it together now.
Yeah, trapping them might be the right idea. It just might not be with the talismans now, because they're gone. Now you got to find some other way to do it. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Yeah, and again, who moved the tent? Was it some kind of giant spider that moved the tent? Was it Abby that moved the tent? As someone in the chat said earlier, asked, was it Abby that moved the tent? Maybe. Who knows? I feel like that is one thing that I do really want to get an answer to. I don't know if we will, but I do hope we get an answer as to who or what actually was dragging the tent. But
I think it was Boy in White. I think
that's,
Boy in
that's,
White.
I think that's the most likely answer. Yeah.
He was like, I'm trying to help you. I need to show you this tree. This tree is important.
This
Because he
tree
knows
and this
all about
lighthouse.
important trees, right? He knows all about important trees. So he dragged the tent and he showed them.
Stopped it
You're
right
gonna
there,
need this.
right where
You're
the
gonna
web.
need it. Exactly. He put them right in the middle of it. And he's like, you're gonna need this. This is important to you. I need you to see this place. That's why it never hurt them. The talisman fell. It was definitely not a monster because the talisman fell. It was just
Wasn't a
somebody
monster,
pulling
no.
them.
I
I
always
mean,
had a
look at
feeling
those
it was
webs.
something that was trying to help them. It just always felt like it was something that was trying to get them closer to something, not further away from something, whether it's the lighthouse or the tree or both, even maybe.
Can you play it?
Absolutely.
Look at Boyd.
Absolutely. Look at Boyd's fucking face.
He's like, look at, he's terrified.
He's like, what the fuck did I just walk into? Oh, poor Boyd. All right, let's play this. Oh, fuck.
What the fuck?
And then we get all this other stuff, but then it goes back to them here. So this is interesting. This whole time they were walking, and there's still
that means it's
in the
massive.
radius. This is a massive area of the forest.
That's enough for you to bring the whole town and be comfortable knowing that you're
this
safe.
is not just one little area that's a couple hundred, that's like 100 feet, 50 feet. This looks like a massive section of the forest. Again, they've been walking this whole time, and they are still not even at the center of it because they haven't even reached Abby yet.
Exactly. I think
This
this
is a
is enough to
massive
trap
section.
all of the monsters. This is a real life dream catcher. I generally do believe that. That's a whole lot of Party City
That's a
spider webs.
lot of Party City
Okay?
spider webs.
That's a whole lot of Party City spider webs. If they did this, they did so
Yeah.
much of it, it's because it's important. They wouldn't
It's gotta be. Yeah, it's
spend
gotta be.
their budget, their limited budget on Party City spider webs if they were not important.
It's gotta.
It's an
It's gotta be.
investment.
And again, it's gotta come back into full circle. And even with us getting that hint from the creators about their, the spider symbolism will be explained. Yeah, I have to imagine it's got to connect in some way to all of the spider stuff that we've seen on the show up until this point, with this being one of the biggest one, the biggest one of all. Like this, I totally didn't even realize, like, you kind of go back and you watch these episodes and you focus on like a single aspect of them a little bit more, and you realize, holy shit, they were walking this whole fucking time. So no, this isn't just one big area. This is a massive forest size area that has just filled with cobwebs. Who knows how big it really is?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if you were to get a nice big aerial view of it, that it made either a spider web kind of dream catcher symbol or the symbol, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm telling you, we're onto something, Sunflower. I think that there's a real life dream catcher. They made a whole big deal, and I think that they're gonna come back. They're gonna come around.
I mean, this is such a massive part, like such a huge area. I hope that they return to it. And again, it would be the perfect way to return to this narratively to finally give us the freaking answer as to who dragged that freaking tent. So yeah, I hope that all of this comes full circle in the final season. That would be really great.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I might just put out a video. The massive spiderweb dreamcatcher.
Do
whatever.
Do it.
Okay, but another thing, During that same speech where Donna's like, drink and smoke, and here's a
Yeah.
dream catcher for you, she also says something that I think is symbolism as to
No, they're
where
gone.
From is located. She says to Fatima, Fatima, we love you. You make this big old drafty box feel more
Yeah.
like a home.
More like a home.
Now, who was talking about boxes? Who was saying we're the cat inside the box? We need to let people know we're still alive. Who is working? We see that
Tom, the bartender.
Jim is
Jim.
building the tower. He's like sketching it when she's saying
He
this.
is. Yep,
So
he's drawing it out.
the box symbolism comes back of them being a cat that has been placed inside a box where other people don't know if they're alive or dead. They just have been taken and placed somewhere else, away from sight.
Yeah.
So she says, you make this box feel like a home. They have been talking about this, and I think that that is to show us that From exists in a plane of existence where they
Mhm.
take you from your plane of existence. They put you in a place where you cannot be seen or heard by
Yep.
the real world, but you are held there in that box. Some of them are alive, some of them die inside the box, but the point is the box does not open. They have not been able to escape it, to open it. If you die there, you're still in the box. If you live there, you're still in the box. So I think that this signifies how From works. You're not in the actual world. You're in a plane of existence where they took you and
Yeah.
put you in this box where nobody can hear you. And that's why even if you die, like Meryl says, even if you die, you don't get out. Because
Because you're
guess what?
stuck
The
here.
box is closed.
And that's exactly what we've been saying for so long, that this is a totally different plane of existence. And this episode actually is when we also get Dale talking about string theory, and in particular the sonic string theory and super string theory, which is the very basis of that exact scenario of having these different little pockets of not pocket universes, not parallel universes, but other little realms, other little kind of realms of existence here. And he even talks about the difference between the bosonic kind of string theory and the super kind of string theory, and how kind of two places can occupy the same space but not kind of collide with one another. And that is essentially what I think Fromville is. And I think that's why when you kind of leave Fromville, you get spit out in certain places in the real world, like Camden, Maine. I think there are certain aspects of Fromville, or certain places of Fromville, that are occupying the exact same space as our world, just in a different plane of existence, so they don't collide with one another. But it's possible to open a doorway between one and the other. And that is what the children are doing, pulling everybody in. And that's what the boy in white did to push Tabitha out and also have her get pulled back in as well. And even Jade kind of drops a hint to this, where he says those exact words, where he thinks maybe the space in Fromville occupies the same space in the real world, just in two different planes. And I think he's right. I think that is very much what we're seeing here with Fromville. It is a different realm of existence that is taking up the same kind of place as our real world, just a different plane. And I think that's why we get a lot of the as above, so below references, where it's a perfect kind of mirror image to itself. I think the main faraway tree that they yanked out is probably going to be the exact same place where the faraway tree is in the real world that Miranda created. I think that the reason why that people spit out of the lighthouse and land in that part of Camden, Maine, because that's where that part is located, in Camden, Maine. It's just a different plane of existence. And I think the children can open a door from one to the other.
Yep. And yeah, today has been a cooking day. I'm cooking guacamole. We're not just cooking. It is nice guacamole and chips. And that, Jeremy, what you just said is a perfect segue to the episode. We have Father Cotry. There's a lot happening. This episode is just full of information. We finally have Father Cotry saying that he has Sarah. Boyd is not very happy about it, but he says something that I think is the answer as to how do we get out. He says to Boyd, that girl may be the way we all get to go home. That girl may be the way we all get to go home. And I believe that Father Cottrey, the characters sometimes are correct, just like Jade was, and thinking that this was an escape room, but they're just missing one thing or the other. I think Father Country was correct. And that girl may be the way we get to go home, but it's not Sarah. It's the Ankui girl. Them remembering that girl, Tabitha remembering that girl, Jay remembering who she is, what they did to her, because she's the one calling them along with all the Ankui children. That girl is the way to get home. And that's why I said I find it very suspicious that they didn't immediately go to that little girl that showed herself in the woods and said Ankui. If you're looking for an answer, if you're looking for how do I get home, what do I need to do? Look for that girl. She made you remember why you're here. Jade said they call out, they cry out for us. So go and ask that girl, why are you crying? What do you need me to do? What do you need me to do?
And
Instead
that
of the
was
boy
so
in white
frustrating.
giving you answers. Uh-huh.
And that was so frustrating where it's like you've had all of these these encounters with these Ankui children up until this point. Not once have you ever just stopped and asked them, how do I save you? What can I do? Not once have you ever just asked a simple fucking question to these children. And that would have been the first fucking thing I asked.
That little girl that told me Ankui and made me remember all of that, that is the first person. If I know that you called me here, what can I do for you? What do I
Yeah.
do? But they never look for her. Instead, they harass the boy in white for answers. It's like he's not the one that told you Ankui. The other kids told you Ankui. And Tabitha never went looking for them. Remember when they showed up and they lined up in a row? Like they were about to line dance up in the street and they pointed at her. They're like, you're not looking for us. So we decided to just come to town, girl. And she's looking at the talisman and you said, they're telling her you made it. And I didn't get it because they were just pointing at her. I'm like, what are they doing? But she's looking at the talisman. She's being asked who made them. She's still not getting it. So they all show up and they point at her like, you did. Like, what's it going to take?
Really, we're literally pointing you in the right direction at this point, and you're still not asking the right questions. And again, the boy in white.
They're like, I swear to God, lady.
The boy in white can be very cryptic, but he was very much spot on when he says that to Tabitha. You're asking the wrong questions, straight up. You are not asking the right
And the
questions.
wrong person. If I was
Yeah,
boy
the
and
wrong
white, I would
person.
be like, listen, first of all, you're asking the wrong questions. And second of all, why are you playing stupid, Tabitha? You're asking the wrong person too. Because the little Ankui girl, she showed up, she Ankui. You remember everything. Why don't you want to look for her? Do I look like your little girl? I don't. Why are you looking for me? I just think it's so shady of them not to look for the little children. Why
Yeah.
haven't they looked for them? That makes no sense.
It doesn't.
Even to ask
Especially,
them, how can I make you at peace? They just went with the bones because we all would have been drawn to the bones.
Yeah,
But why
maybe.
don't you just ask them, what do you want from me? Do you have unfinished
Especially now.
business, Ghost?
Right? Especially now. It was one thing before the season 3 finale. But once the season 3 finale happens and Jade and Tabitha find out who they really are, and they find out that one of those children is literally their child, at that point on, there's really no excuse going forward that you haven't asked these children or even reached out to try and contact these children since you've learned that. They've popped up a few times since then, but that's just been them popping up on their own accord. Not once have you ever tried to seek these children out again once you found out that, hey, one of them is my freaking daughter. We saw Tabitha summon the children once before. There is a way to do it, whether it's setting up the little game there, the little Anuk-Shuk, or whether it's Jade using the violin again. We've seen multiple occasions of them summoning these children. Now that you know who they really are, and worse, one of them is yours, you haven't tried to contact them once? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy to me.
That's crazy business. And, it's like Xavier is saying, we are cooking today with provolone. We're
Absolutely.
making burgers and slapping a cold slice from home
Whole little
right on
slice
top of
that
that.
hot provolone burger.
It's cold, a cold slice from the fridge from home on a hot burger, because
Right
that's
out
how
of the
Henry
little
likes it.
Tupperware. Right out of the Tupperware. Yep. I love it. I love
I
it.
like
And yeah,
the
Father
idea
Cottrey,
better when he didn't have a Tupperware, where he just pulled it. Remember, you said
I
that he
know,
just
me
pulled it
too.
out of his pocket,
I wish we didn't see the Tupperware because I totally love the idea of him just ripping that out of his fucking pocket.
out of his back pocket. Like, here, I
Here, I
sneaked
got
it
your
past the
provolone from
nurse.
home.
Sneaked it past the nurse. You can't have cheese in here, Dad.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, love it. Love it, love it, love it. But yeah, Tabitha, not once does she try, and that's just inexcusable, absolutely inexcusable. Yeah, pocket cheese,
Mm-hmm.
pocket cheese. Hey, knowledge does come at a cost. This is very true. Aegon the Magnanimous. Knowledge comes at a cost. Oh man, good stuff. And yeah, we get a lot of good stuff in this episode too. We get the reveal from Cottrey here in this episode where he tells us his whole backstory. And this is actually one of the few backstories that we actually get from some of these characters because, you notice that's one thing that the show doesn't really do a whole lot of in terms of telling us who these characters were before they got here and the circumstances under which they arrived here. We learn all of that where Father Cottrey is concerned, at least. He's one of the few characters we get that information from, other than, just the basic information we get on the missing persons posters. But all that really does is just tell them where they were traveling from and to. It doesn't really tell them much about who they were as a person. This, though, we get a really good look at just a horrific event that Father Cottrey was party to right before he lands here in Fromville, and how he believes that event is actually what made him get stuck here in the first place, that brought him onto this path. And after kind of getting in touch with Sarah and this ability that he believes she has and the connection that he believes that she has to this place, it's almost like Cottrey is seeing all of these signs, or at least he's interpreting this as seeing all of these signs that he was brought here for a reason, that he and Boyd are supposed to do this. They're supposed to go into the woods. They're supposed to go out and find answers and bring everyone home. And then we just see it all just come crashing down when Father Cottrey just gets his path cut short. And one of the most epic scenes of all in terms of how he handles it. That would have been enough to break anybody's faith. But it doesn't break his. It kind of only strengthens his, if anything. But this, again, we get a really good full-on kind of completed arc for Cottrey in this episode.
And I think one of the reasons why he's one of the only ones that we get such detailed information for is because they needed to explain to us why
Yes.
he's such a bad priest.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
They needed to put it into context. Why is he out for blood? Right?
Why he needs redemption.
Boyd says, "You're the one that told me to put people in the box." Why is he looking at the world in a different way than what we expect? And right here with the story, he lets us know, while I'm a man of faith, I am not above making things just as I see them to be just when God does nothing about it. Because let's be honest, in the story that he tells, he's just a man, he's just a priest. He doesn't assist that child. He gives him a candy bar. But also, when he arrives, there has to be a part of him that feels this child was forsaken by him, but also by God. Because he's arriving to a horrible situation.
At a place of worship, nonetheless, looking for shelter.
So it's not just the priest who's leaving him down, it's God himself who has forsaken this child. And sometimes in life it's hard to reconcile the fact that bad things happen to good people, just like children, which is the story of From. Horrifying things happening to the true innocent. And so he is showing in this backstory, I am not above creating justice where I see evil, even if this justice comes at my hands. When I saw them laying there, I could not let it go. And so he beats up the dad, right? He kills him because what he just did was so unjust and nobody stepped in, but he is there physically.
And he
And
feels guilty too.
while he feels guilty about it, he is willing to believe that there is a way of him finding the path that he was meant to have. So if he didn't believe in redemption, he would have just offed himself. But
He
when
would've
he
just jumped
hears the
off the
voice,
bridge.
he's
Yeah.
full on. He's saying there's a path for me. And
Yeah.
even when he's dying, he says, my path is being cut short. So he believes in redemption. And he
He
also
does.
believes that sometimes justice comes at your own hands. And I would have done the same thing.
Oh yeah.
And I wouldn't felt bad about it. So
No,
he's a better man than me because I wouldn't have
Yeah.
felt bad about it.
Yeah, he's looking for forgiveness. You know, yes, I mean, I think he also does genuinely want to get these people home. I definitely think that is part of it as well. But there is a huge underlying current of this is his way of getting forgiveness. This is his redemption arc as he sees it. This is the path that the Lord has put me on to make up for the mistake that I made that got me here. And yeah, you see that kind of path cut short, or what he believes is that path cut short. And it doesn't shake his faith. It doesn't shake his belief system. It only kind of strengthens it as he dies and realizes that he was wrong. But yeah, again, it's one of the most poignant death scenes that I've ever seen in film. And I think that's a big part of that is the performance of the actors in particular. Harold Perrineau and Sean Majumder absolutely kill it in that death scene. Like they play it so well, so believable, so raw, so visceral, as I like to say. It's one of the best death scenes I've seen on film, and just personally, in my opinion. But yeah, we learn a lot of backstory on Cawtree right here. A sacrifice of a child by alcohol. God told Cawtree to get back in his car and follow another path, which took him to From. Was voice Boy in White or Man in Yellow who told him? That is the question. Was it the boy in white, the man in yellow, or was it the Onkui children themselves? One thing that we do here in this season is how Jade believes that in some small manner that the people that are getting stuck here are also on some level hearing the cries of these children. And I think that could be pertaining to Father Cawtree in particular. I think, if anything, Father Cawtree heard the voice or the crying out of the children themselves. But it could also be the boy in white. That's possible too. Or the man in yellow. Who knows? But part of me thinks it's the children, just in Cawtree's case. And again, I think that good line we get from Jade in season 4 kind of points us in that direction, that on some small level, maybe all of these people here were hearing the children's cries for help. Maybe some just hear it a little louder than others. But I don't know. Again, could be boy in white or man in yellow as well. Definitely. But thank you so much for the 5, Sunflower.
Yes, Sunflower, thank you. And we keep kind of going back to the theme of alcohol and vices. And if you're, once again, we see the theme being that if you're a good person, alcohol and vices, weed, alcohol, it's going to keep you from making as big of a positive impact in the world as you would have been able to had you not been involved in the vices. If you're a bad person, it could go as far as amping up that bad person that you have inside and getting you to do horrifying things, like being, this man who did this to his child. So I'm not saying that it makes you a bad person, but I'm saying that just like in From, alcohol, vices, weed keep you from making the impact in the world that you would have had you been more focused. Had you been more focused, you would be making a bigger impact. When Jade is getting high every day and he's like not working on anything, we see that Tom shows up and he reminds him, you might need to get sober. You need to get sober. You're not thinking straight, right? And so it is a way that we see the real world has these consequences. So maybe what they're trying to say is an allegory that in the real world, we all can make a positive impact. And that positive impact is going to depend on our focus. What are we focused on? And are we giving into our vices? Because we see that in From, there is commentary on alcohol and weed. They bring it up a lot. And when they bring it up as being consumed or overconsumed, we get Colony House Massacre. Everybody's kind of
like what
um
Diana says here. When you
they're
have
not
those,
focused at the
yeah, they're not
party,
focused. They're only
and
thinking
that's
of
why bad
themselves,
things happen.
and boom, bad shit fucking happens. Like fucking stupid Kev. No, I like it. I like it. I think it's you got to be on your game. You got to be, especially in a place like Fromville, where the slightest little tiniest mistake will cost not only your life but everybody's lives around you as well. You're not just gambling with yourself at this place. You're gambling with an entire community of people, technically. So no, yeah, and we see that Jade, once he does kind of stop drinking and getting all, I mean, yes, the mushrooms kind of give him this trip, but it seems that when he stops drinking, he starts focusing, he starts seeing things a little bit clearer, he starts trying to get a little bit more of a handle on those numbers, with big help from Jim as well. Again, fucking missed Jim in season 4, I really did. But
now,
and we saw what happened, and we saw what alcohol does to Henry in season 4, in particular, and the kind of
he
path
tries to kill poor Victor,
and what it does to poor Victor as well.
He tries
So
to
yeah,
kill his
the
own
show is,
son. That was
yeah,
heartbreaking to see. Victor was
great.
gonna accept it because he didn't
Yeah,
lounge at him. He just stood
until he
there like,
sees
okay.
Ethan. Yeah, and it's not until he sees the gun pointed at Ethan that he's like, okay, fuck this. No, what are you doing? You said you protect me, Dad.
You drunk? Yeah, I mean, it is the drunk father keeps coming up with Jim and his father,
Show
with Henry,
Jim, yeah,
with how we
Frank,
start the show,
man protects his family, Frank.
with his backstory, with Cautry's backstory. The drunk dad keeps coming up. Now, I would like to emphasize one of the questions that Boyd had and a lot of the audience had when we saw that Father Cautry, was insisting on the box and was not giving in. He was like, you have to put him in the box. You have to put him in the box. Megan's dad, I think that we're getting an insight into why he was so insistent. I think that because he's human, just like all of us, Father Cautry has a bias. There is no
Against
way
people messing up with alcohol. Yeah, totally.
against fathers who are irresponsible and get their children killed because of
Yeah,
alcohol. He has a
totally,
bias. When he
totally.
has a background in which this is what happened before he got into From, a drunk father hurting a child that he couldn't help, when he has that background and he sees what Frank has done, there is a bias there. It
Yeah,
is too close to home. It is
yeah,
an irresponsible father, as he sees it, that should pay for the fact that his daughter is now dead. He believes he should pay, just like he made that other dad pay. So there is a bias. When people were asking, why is he so insistent?
yep.
This
Just
is
like
why,
Boyd,
because
and
of
that's
his
why,
background.
yeah, and that's why Boyd kind of reacts so harshly, the way he does, because Boyd also knows what it feels like to not be there to protect your family when they need you. So yeah, we see these reactions to these things earlier on, and it's not until we get way later into the season like this where we finally get that full context. Like, okay, like you said, that's why Cautry was so kind of hardlined on his stance of you got to put him in the box. That's why Boyd was so devastated and pissed at Frank when he saw what happened here. We get this extra context for these characters that this is very sore subjects for all of them because they've been down these roads.
Yeah. Boyd was willing to not do it, to let him,
Yeah,
just go away with surviving on his own. But
yeah,
for Father Cautry, we see how he operates from his background. It was
yeah.
like death by
No,
box or death
he's
by me, bitch. He was like, I've done it before and I'll do it again. I
I'll
don't take
do it
this sort of
again.
thing. Death by box is your best bet. So he better go in the box. There's
He
a
is.
bias there.
That's a soft spot for him, and how could it not be? After learning his backstory and what happened with that drunk father, yeah, how could that not be such a huge open wound for someone like Cautry? And thank you so much, Catherine Eli Saunders, for the 80 jewels, clock it, and the 10 jewels and the floating heart. Thank you so much. Very, very much appreciate the jewels. And thank you everybody that has sent in jewels and sent in super chats tonight. You guys are absolutely freaking awesome. Chiquita Cyborg, Xavier, Catherine, Guns N' Roses, My Kung Fu, Sunflower. You guys are all absolute champions. Alan as well. Thank you, one. Thank you all. You guys are the freaking best. Best chat in the world. But yeah, this is just such a good and classic, episode for so many reasons. And yeah, we get to the Colony House Massacre and things are starting to pop off. And I love how Victor steps up and becomes the hero in this moment. Not Donna, not Fatima, who's been just this horrible fucking influence on Julie this entire time. It's Victor. Victor stepping up, saving Julie's ass, and saving himself in the process, which is valuable because we all know Victor's probably going to play a pretty big part in the ending of this show. So this was fun. It was fun to see Victor step up and play the hero for once.
Well, I will
Good old
say
Victor.
this because I kept my eye on this interaction here. He had no plans of saving Julie.
No, and that's what makes it even better.
He was packing, and he knew there's a pattern. That's why he dug up the graves.
Dug up the
So they're
graves, yeah.
ready. They're
He's
hot and
ready.
ready for
He's on high alert.
for the
Yeah,
bodies.
for sure.
So he was
Yeah.
packing. He's like any time now. He's packing his stuff.
Had
He
the
doesn't
rope
really
ready.
want her to go in there, but then he's like, fine, whatever.
Mhm.
And what's interesting is that he was gonna go it alone without any assistance or help. Boy and White steps in when he sees that both of them are kind of running away. So it makes
Mhm.
me think, okay, Boy and White, he wasn't necessarily interested in helping Victor because Victor already had knowledge and was ahead of the game. But Boy and White was interested when he saw that Julie was there and assisting Julie. And
Mhm.
perhaps it's because Boy and White knew she will have these
What she would
powers that will
become.
come into play.
Story walking. Yeah.
She's going to
Yeah,
become
could be.
important to the story. So I need to help her. So he shows up, and that's when Victor seems to say, okay, we need to go here. Okay, just trust me. But
Mhm.
other than that, he wasn't going to show up. I do not believe that he was going to assist Victor. He was there for Julie, to help
Could
Julie,
be.
because they were together. Now, he says something really interesting to Julie before he puts her into the tree. He says, take these drawings and
Yeah.
tell Ethan
Tell Ethan
that
it's
it's starting again.
Yeah.
Warn him it's starting. And she says, what do you mean? What are you talking about? Now,
He'll
Victor
know.
says something.
Says he'll
Mhm.
know. Yeah.
Yes. Victor says something very interesting because Ethan has not told us anything
Very true.
about him knowing that there's
At
a
this
pattern,
point.
about
Mm.
Victor telling him, hey, they're about to massacre everybody in Colony House. But
Mhm.
according to Victor, there has been an exchange of information where Victor told him, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And the message is, hey, remember that thing I told you would happen? It's starting.
Mhm.
What is Ethan holding out on with us? Why isn't he talking?
Yeah.
He's holding out info. There's conversations happening in the background
An
that he
off-screen
has also
conversation, do you think?
he has also not told us anything about, because when he is adamant, he will know it's starting and you need to warn him about what is Ethan supposed to do, right? Why isn't Ethan telling his sister, hey Julie, Victor told me there's going to be a massacre, that's why he dug the graves. Ethan
Yeah.
isn't saying anything.
No, and again, when we see Julie pop back up at home and she tells Ethan about the faraway tree, that's all Ethan says is, "Oh, you went through a faraway tree." That's all he mentions, because he's seen the trees that Victor showed him. But yeah, nothing about this being a bad omen, nothing about this starting up again. It didn't seem like Ethan had that information yet, or if he did, it happened off screen, an off screen scene that we didn't get to see. And if that is the case, I hate those kind of things. Like when you have vital things happen off screen that can kind of just pop up later. It's just always better to kind of put that stuff in front of the audience. But I don't know. I mean, yeah, Why was he so adamant that Ethan would know what he was talking about here this early in the game? I don't know. But Ethan's kind of had a feeling that this has been a quest right from the very beginning. It could just be that, that Victor knows or can sense that Ethan can tell what's going on to some certain degree in this place, that it is a quest that they need to complete and that it's starting now. Maybe it was that.
I would be like, he kind of makes it seem like he knows what it means. We've had a conversation.
Yeah,
It's starting. What is the
it
it?
does seem
And it's
specific.
starting. It seems
Yeah,
very specific.
yeah, it does.
Otherwise, if I was Ethan, I would be like, I don't know what the hell he's
What's he
talking
talking
about.
about? I don't know what
Julie's
the fuck
like,
he's
he
talking about.
said you knew that it
He
had
said to give you these
started to
drawings so
warn
you would
you.
know. I've never
He's
seen
like, I
these
don't know
drawings
what the
before.
hell that man's talking
What
about.
the
Okay.
fuck that is? Oh shit. Too funny. But yeah, good stuff. And then of course we see the monsters have indeed gotten in, and good old Trudy is one of the first victims after good old Kev gets it. Poor Trudy. And Trudy's pillow as well. Yeah.
And I would like to bring attention to the chat here because the chat is having a very interesting conversation. I 100% agree. So Diana and Anna are talking about what is the theme? What, because usually there's a theme that connects the multiple storylines that are happening all at once in each episode. And Diana says, this episode is about all the positive that came out of the negative things. All
Mhm.
good things is faith and community, says Anna. So Anna believes that that is the theme that is connecting the episode, faith and community. And I would
Mhm.
like to just say, Anna, I think you're right on it. Not only faith in the way of having faith in the community that you live in, but we see Father Kotri. He literally
Cautry's big.
represents faith.
It's
He
a
represents the
huge.
faith and he
Yeah.
represents justice by his
Yeah.
own hand when something
He's
was
Old
very
Testament.
unjust.
He's
Mhm.
very Old Testament, Cautry.
And we
And
see Victor helping Julie. We see that they have a protocol. We see that a lot of people die, but others are saved.
yeah,
And Diana emphasizes that that's the aspect of the show that she likes, the sense of community, the fact that in this place they have been able to create a sort of government. Boyd has created a sort of government with rules, regulations, and standards. And like we've said before, it seems like no bad people get pulled into from. They're generally, they could be
they're all
annoying, but
pretty
they're
good people.
generally
Yeah,
decent people.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that is one thing that we have noticed. Yeah, all of these people, again, a lot of them seem to be in a state of transition in their lives, but none of them are in like super dark places where they're bad people or anything like that. Just even Randall, I mean, a bit abrasive, bit rash at times, but who's one of the first freaking people to, put his neck on the line to help someone else when they really, really need it? It's freaking Randall and the Randall types, which we have a lot of in Fromville. So yeah, it's definitely a big theme of not just this episode, but the entire show, really, for that matter, is the theme of community, the theme of surviving together or dying alone. If we're not able to survive together, if we're not able to be a community, we will get driven apart. We will fail. So yeah, I think that's a huge aspect of definitely this episode, but the show at large, that doing this together is the only way that it's going to work. And I think that's why we hear Boyd preaching that all the time. And like you said, PM, Boyd has very much, and even Donna to a certain extent, they have cultivated they have cultivated that aspect where this place, as nightmarish as it is, it does feel like a community, people working together.
I will say this for Randall, because we are praising him too much. We need to be fair here.
He
And
did
I was
tie
thinking
Donna
of
to a tree.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, he tied Donna to a tree like she was the boogeyman, the Santa Claus. If you ever seen Jack Skeleton, The Nightmare Before Christmas, there's those little children that go and kidnap Santa Claus. That's what Jim and Randall
said Jim
reminded
and
me
Randall
of
are-
when they went like, we're gonna go kidnap the Santa Claus, because Donna's such a Santa Claus. But I was thinking that's really interesting that he focused on her. I wonder what made him focus. I think there's a bias when it comes to Randall, because let's remember, Donna kicked him out of Colony House. He was going to be a resident of Colony House, and he didn't want people touching his stuff. Donna kicked him out to the bus and then told him off. Like, let's see how tough you are. Right? So she ostracized him. So it's no coincidence that then he gets this bright idea. Hey, Jim, let's kidnap Donna. I think maybe
And I
he
think
didn't
Jim's
even have
little.
any information. He might not have even had any evidence, but he's just like, you know what? Fuck it.
Fuck
I
it,
don't like
like
that
you.
lady.
I don't
She
like
kicked
you.
me out of Colony
on.
House. We're going to kidnap her.
We're gonna
I think
kidnap
that he
her.
kind of
Oh, yeah.
used Jim in his paranoia to kind of get his lick back on Donna. Like, you kicked me out. Guess what? I'm going to kidnap you now.
Well,
That's
I
what
think
you get for
Jim.
kicking me out.
I think Jim coming to Randall in the first place definitely maybe to at least a small bit fed into Randall's paranoia a little bit. I think Randall was kind of waiting for that because Randall's been super suspicious ever since he first arrived here. He's not believing anything.
He's been waiting to be petty.
He's
That's
been
right.
waiting, right? He's been waiting for someone like Jim
Like,
to come up
you
to
know,
him with this
Jim.
fucking theory. He's like, wait,
He
what?
has no evidence. He's like, you know, Jim.
Well, now
I
that
think
you
I
mention
know
it, Jim.
somebody. I think I know of a big mama
I think
up
I
in a
know where
house
we should
that
start.
makes all of her rules and likes to
Yeah.
kick out people.
It fits, right? I mean, I think it fits. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
he's biased. I feel like
He's
he had
biased.
nothing on
He's
her,
biased.
literally had nothing on Donna, and kidnapped her
He
because
was just
she kicked
waiting
him
for an
out.
excuse, waiting for the right pretext to just move on Donna. And Jim just comes around and gives him the perfect fucking excuse.
I love when Jim sees Donna. He's like, whoa, we got too
Whoa,
far.
whoa. Let me pull,
Whoa, we
see if I
gone
can
too
find that
far.
episode.
Like, I'm crazy. You told me to do this, Jim, right? You wanted me to do this. He's like, whoa.
Yeah, I didn't say this.
I thought we were just, brainstorming. I didn't know you were actually going to do this.
Oh, shit. I think it's the end of this episode.
I hated when they would make us watch that other show. They would force
I
it
know.
on us.
Oh my god.
I always felt like they were forcing me to watch it because they wouldn't introduce it. They would just be, you would be watching From, and all of a sudden they would play that other show.
It made me hate that show and not want to watch it even more. Like, straight up.
Look at Donna. I'm telling you,
Poor
she
Donna.
looks like the Santa Claus. We're gonna kidnap the Santa Claus.
Randall?
Look, he's like,
Jim?
oh fuck.
What the fuck you doing, Randall?
He's like, oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Randall, what the fuck?
He smacked her in the face. Look, he
Yeah.
smacked her in the face.
Look at the look on Randall's face. He's
Yeah,
giddy
he's
as
like,
a
yep,
school child.
I got her. He's like, yep, I
No
got her.
plan. I got her.
He smacked her in the face. He probably knocked her out to be
I
able
knocked
to
her
drag
out.
her out
Yeah.
there.
I knocked her out, threw her in the back of that
I
van.
would
drove her
have
over here,
wanted to see
thrust
that.
her out.
I
Me
would wanted
too.
to see Randall just come up to her and knock her out.
Well, we do. We don't see him knock her out, but we do see him approach her. He approaches her in front of Colony House and he says, I come in peace. Can we have a word? And Donna
I
turns
come
around.
in peace, and then smacks her.
Then Donna turns around. They start walking, and then the scene cuts. He probably fucking knocks her out right there and just takes her.
I come in peace. I'm just gonna kidnap you just a little bit.
I just want to talk. Just want to talk. You're going to be tied to a tree, but I just want to talk.
But we will be talking. Yeah. But she's such a drama queen. You know what I thought was funny about this scene? When you first see Donna, that rope is loose super loose,
Mhm.
and it's just a skinny, tiny little rope, and she has her arms down. It's like, Donna, you could have wiggled
You
out of
could've
there.
gotten right the
Shut
fuck out of
up,
that.
Donna. Look, next time you see the scene, look at the rope. She could have wiggled her little hands out of there. She could have wiggled those little toes. Come on. So she's also being a little dramatic. And it's only around the hands. It's not really around all of her. So
Mhm. Yeah.
next time, watch the rope placement because he's a very bad kidnapper.
Oh, this is the wrong one, I think. Uh, Here we go. Good old Randall. Season 2 was good, man. I mean, I
It was
liked
good.
season 2. Season 2 was good.
Tabby with her uncouth children. Oh, there we go. Look at that rope. She could have put her hand out of there.
Okay, Randall. What the fuck? It's a new plan.
Oh my god, yeah. It's so
You
it's,
see
it's
that?
the worst
It's
tie-up job.
loose.
It's the
It's
worst tie-up
loose.
job I've ever seen in my life. I definitely weasel right out of
She's
that fucking
breathing
thing.
comfortably.
That's a horrible tie job.
It looks like she's
Yeah.
holding the rope down herself.
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's a new plan.
I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Oh yeah?
What are you doing?
Donna, I'm so sorry. Don't apologize.
Donna, I'm so sorry.
We were right. She's fucking part of this.
Part of what?
See how he's like,
I
he
saw
is
you.
such a
the
bad
training.
guy. Okay, he's a bad liar. He's trying to make it seem like it was Jim's idea. He's like, it wasn't me. He's like, don't
You were right,
apologize to
Jim.
her. You were
You
right,
were
you
right.
know, when you said to kidnap her. He never said that. He's like, you were right. You wanted me to do this, right? You wanted me to take her and
Yeah.
kidnap
This
her.
is totally your idea.
Yeah,
You told
exactly.
me.
He's making it seem like Jim, and she's like, Donna, I'm so
John, I'm so sorry. This is not what I meant.
although I was brainstorming that you
Although
were
we
a
were
mole.
talking about a mole.
Although we were talking hella shit about you behind your back, I just didn't think he's that friend that you talk trash with and they take it too far. They take it way too seriously.
Yeah,
They kidnap the
they just
person,
go
put them
way
in their
too
trunk,
far.
and you're
Yeah.
like, dude, we were just having brunch and talking trash. Why did you kidnap them and put them in your trunk?
Oh fuck. Yeah, he's the one that goes too far for sure.
He went too far. He took it too far.
It's funny how suddenly the rules fucking change when someone catches out your bullshit.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I thought you'd
Look
be
at
more.
you.
I thought you'd be more.
Like you'd be
This is
more
your
happy.
idea.
I thought you'd be
No.
happier.
This is your idea. See?
This is your
I love how
idea.
they're trying to like they're afraid of her. They're actually afraid of her. That's why they keep passing blame from one to the other. This is your
I thought you'd
idea.
be happy. I thought you'd like this.
I
Are
thought
you
you'd be more
fucking
happy.
kidding me?
I thought you'd be more. This is your idea.
She's like, I just want to make you happy.
This is your idea.
I'm telling you, look at Jim's face.
Jim,
This is the
Jim
friend.
is
I'm
like,
telling you, you
"What
have
the
brunch
fuck?"
with them, you talk shit, and then they take it too far. They kill the person, they kidnap the
Oh,
person, and you're like,
fuck.
dude, we were just talking about like we didn't mean it that way, okay? Look at Jim. I love
Jim's
this
like,
still shot of
what?
Jim. He's
What
like,
the
oh my
fuck?
god. I didn't know that the psycho would take it so serious. He's looking at him like you're psychotic.
He's looking at him
What?
dumbfounded. He's flabbergasted.
Because he's like, I thought you'd be more happy. This was your
I thought you'd be into this, Jim. What the fuck?
You can't talk
What's
trash
your
with just
idea?
anybody, guys. Some people take it way too far. Look at him.
What catches out your bullshit.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I thought you'd be more. This is your idea. No. This? This
No.
is fucking crazy. This was not.
part of the plan.
She's part of the reason we're still here. Fuck her.
We are not doing.
He's like, no, this is crazy. He's not owning up. I will say this for Randall though. Jim right now, in front of Donna, he's acting like he had nothing to do with it. Like I don't know where this came from. And that's a lie.
Right.
That's a lie. Because he was talking smack. The chat is right. He was talking hella trash
Jim was
about Donna. He was talking trash. He was egging it on. And all of a sudden he's acting like he's an innocent little bug. He's like, no, me? Because he's afraid of Donna. Like secretly, he's afraid of Donna.
He's petrified right now. He's so
he is lying. He is lying. Randall is the one that's saying the truth right now.
It is too funny because Jim was talking smack
He was talking smack. But he's not owning up to any of it. He's like, no, me? No, not about Donna. No, I love her.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
What else happens? I need a refresher on this.
This is fucking crazy. This was not part of the plan.
She's part of the reason we're still here. Fuck her.
We are not doing this.
You know what I'm starting to think, Jim? Maybe you just put this shit in my head to see what I would do. How do I know that you're not part of this? Huh?
You put this in my head. He is okay. Honestly, he is psycho. Though he's like, you put this in my head so I could do this. This is what you can't talk trash with just anybody. I'm telling you, because he's not owning up to anything. He's like, oh no. But if you go back the episode previous, he was putting stuff in his head. He was saying, let's say there is a mole. Who could it be?
He was. He was bringing up this government experiment fucking idea. Like he wants to get the drone involved. Like Jim came right around and just fed right into Randall's fucking delusion. He did. He fueled.
He was putting stuff in his head. It is true. Randall was alone, minding his own crazy business. He may be psychotic and crazy, but he was minding his own crazy business.
He was literally just flying his drone, minding his own business until Jim walked into his fucking life.
He walks up and he's like, hey, listen, I think there's a mole. Let's use the drone. Let's look around. So he did. He's saying the truth. He approached them and put all this stuff in his head. And then when it got too real, you know what this reminds me, guys? Did you ever see this? I don't know if it was a show when keeping it real goes wrong. This
goes wrong, yeah.
Yeah, when keeping it real goes wrong. That is
Jim's face. This moment, Jim knew he fucked up.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're keeping it too real. He was all about it. He was all about it. He's like, let's use the drone. Let's do this. Hilarious. I love it.
Poor Randall. Poor Jim. What a fucking clusterfuck. Oh man. Season 2 was good. Season 2 was fucking good, man.
So good.
But fuck. What do we do? What do we do?
Look, Howdy is like
episode
PM is lying.
7,
Jim had nothing to do with this. He did have something to do with it, right, Jeremy? He's the one that approached Crazy Randall.
He had a little bit to do with it. I mean, Jim
Randall was minding his own crazy business.
Definitely not. Jim did not want this to happen. That's for sure. Jim did not want Donna kidnapped. I will agree there. Jim didn't want this, but Jim did feed into Randall's kind of delusions a little bit when he approached him again. Jim did approach Randall, wanting to use the drone, wanting to spy around, wanting to explore this government experiment. So while I don't think Jim had anything to do with this here, he definitely didn't want this. I think Jim definitely helped Randall along the way into feeding into those delusions that he ends up developing. Randall and Jim just were not a good mix. At the end of the day, that's what I see from this pairing. Randall and Jim were just not a good team. They fed into each other's theories. They fed into each other's kind of delusions about what this place might be. And Randall just ended up taking it way too far. But Jim didn't want this. We'll agree there.
Randall was honestly Randall and Jim not a good match. Okay, not a good team. Randall and Boyd, not a good team. He left them behind. Randall and Julie, Julie's so crazy that Randall is the level-headed one. Randall and Julie were a good team.
Good team. Very good team. Cautry and Boyd, good team. Yeah, some pairs are good teams and some just aren't. Oh man, but yeah, man, there we have it, folks. Season 1, episode 7, Colony House Massacre in the books, and of course, some of the other deviations that we talked about, which is always fun. I love talking anything from. It never has to be one episode specific, that's for sure. But up next, we have season 1, episode 8. And that is, again, I feel like from episode 7 on, the rest of the season is just one freaking banger after the next. All of these episodes are so freaking good. Up next, we have season 1, episode 8, which is another one of my personal favorites, where we not only see Tabitha, I believe Tabitha has her vision for the first time of seeing Jim trussed up in the lighthouse. This is also the episode where we finally get Boyd's backstory. Actually, I think Tabitha one might be 9. But episode 8 is the one where we finally get Boyd's backstory, the flashback to how Boyd and his family arrived in town, what really happened between Boyd and his wife. Episode 8 gives us so many fucking answers. I remember watching season 1 for the first time, and after watching episode 8, I felt like, holy shit, this episode gave us the most yet out of any previous episode. So I cannot wait for that. That is going to be a very fun discussion, and we will see where that's going to go. We will see where that's going to go. 3 episodes left, folks, in season 1. We got 8, 9, and 10. And of course, we also have Boyd and Sarah. They're going to be going on their little excursion, their little journey down Father Cautry, of course. And yeah, Randall is just the crazy nut that we love. And again, I think Randall came a long way too. Like, that was very early on. That was only season 2. That was only season 2 when Randall first arrived. And he was a little bit raw, a little bit more kind of rough around the edges. I do think Randall also has evolved a little bit more as a character from, that kind of crazy version of Randall that we get right in the very beginning to who Randall is kind of now. I think he's calmed down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, season 1 was just so freaking good. So good. Yeah, back during the Epics days before MGM came and the money got involved. Very true. It was just the small little Epics network, this little show that could. And I remember how worried we were after season 1 had ended. Like, it wasn't a question as to quality. We all knew that this show was just absolutely fucking phenomenal. But the question came, is this show going to get canceled in between seasons 1 and 2? Just because it just didn't have a big audience after season 1. Nobody knew about the show. Nobody had even heard of the Epics network. It was super tiny. Nobody knew what it was. Nobody had heard of From. You try to search the show and you're getting, try and search the word From before the show started. Now it's got a pretty good digital footprint online, where if you search From on a search engine now, you'll get stuff for the show. But before the show had that digital footprint and you were trying to search stuff for From during seasons like 1 and 2, you couldn't find anything on the show. The show was so hard to find because From is just such a commonly searched word. But again, it's a little bit better now that it's kind of established itself. But yeah, I remember a lot of us in the fandom being super worried after season 1 ended, wondering, man, I really hope this show doesn't get canceled. It was just a matter of, we need to get more people to see this show. We need to get more people into From. If more people see it, more people will love it. More people will fall in love with it because it is that freaking good. And season 1 just still holds up to this fucking day as, in my opinion, definitely the best season. But yeah, it ended up catching its audience. The break in between season 1 and 2, the show definitely grew a lot. And that was really cool to see. Like, when season 2 was starting, you saw a lot of people just binging through season 1 right before season 2 started. And the fandom really, really grew in between those 2 seasons. And then it grew even more in between seasons 2 and 3. And then by that point, I think we all kind of were breathing a little bit easier, knowing like, okay, the show's probably not going to get canceled. It's got an established audience now. We're good to go. But after season 1 ended, shit, I was very worried that this show was going to get canceled. Very fucking worried. But it didn't. It didn't. And here we are, all these years later, still diving into all of this craziness that is from season 1. Again, the best season out of them all, in my opinion, anyway. Yeah, season 1 is the best. Yeah, 8 and 10 are so good. I mean, even 9's good as well, but yeah, 8 and 10 in particular, 2 of the best episodes. Again, one thing that's great about season 1, every episode really is good. There isn't one episode that you can kind of pick out of season 1 that can point to and say like, oh, that is the overwhelmingly weak spot in season 1. Season 1 doesn't have that episode at all, in my opinion anyway. Every single episode is good. But yeah, up next we have season 1, episode 8. We will be taking a look at the backstory, the arrival of Boyd and his family into Fromville, and of course the incident that I have a feeling is what most likely caused the split within the town in the first place. The incident of Abby shooting up the place. And I think, now that we have more context for the show about the Man in Yellow and some of his, methods, what he did to Henry in particular, and we kind of have an interesting interview from Jeff Pickner, the creator of From, one of the writers of From, where he also kind of hints at the fact that maybe Boyd's wife had something similar happen to her and caused her to kind of go on her rampage, something similar that Henry went through, which is interesting, kind of looking back in hindsight. Was Abby losing it not just of her own mind? Was it not just her not adapting well to this place? Was there an outside influence doing this to her? I guess is kind of what they were implying. But yeah, season 1, episode 9 is next. Episode 8 is next. And we will be diving into that on Thursday night. And then on Saturday, we'll be diving right back into episode 9 and then 10 after that. And then, of course, when we're done with season 1, if you guys want to go right into season 2, we will definitely dive right into season 2 and then season 3 after that as well. It's really up to you guys if you guys want to continue diving into it. If not, we'll definitely be doing plenty of season 5 prediction streams as well. But there we have it, folks. Big thank you to each and every one of you for hanging out with us on this fine, fine evening. Huge thank you to everyone, again, who sent in super chats and jewels this evening. Chiquita Cyborg, Xavier, Sunflower, Catherine, Guns N' Roses. Thank you so much. My Kung Flu. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And, of course, Alan as well. Can't thank you enough. Big thanks for all the support. And, yeah, we will see you guys on the next one. Cheers, chat. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
Okay, ding dongs. If you don't subscribe to Jeremy Ice and Fire, you're gonna spend the night in the box.
Aren't Cooey.
I think this is when it happened.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I did try to warn you.
That's what this is, the quest. And everyone has a part to play. Sometimes the quest can be scary, and when it gets close to the end,